All right, one moment here. Uh, need that. Cool. And then I need that. Also cool. All right, one moment. Let me just get the stream all linked up first or sent out. Ooh, we can also use some music. Perfect. Maybe. Yo, what's up? One moment. Damn, I'm a professional, huh? That's posted. And next. Anyways, how are you people doing, huh? Everything sound right? The music's too loud. All right, perfect. Okay. Whew. Yeah. What's up, Rasta Joker? What's up, actual accelerationist? What's up, hot dogging? Yeah, I had stuff. Best way of putting it, stuff. Hopefully, it's become more common. Also, to be fair, it's a bit difficult finding the right things for a stream like this, right? Because like it's boring watching like Ben Shapiro or Fraser you or any other like big obvious target that other like politics live streamers go over, right? Or just constantly going over the news, right? Like that shit can get a bit boring because it's, you know, it's just like, oh my god, guys, can you believe it? Can you believe what Ben Shapiro is gonna say about trans people? Do you believe what Matt Walsh is gonna say about racism? Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, albeit at the same time, a lot of the reasons why right-wing propaganda works very well is the constant repetition and therefore reinforcement of the ideas, right? If you say something over and over again forever, it's gonna catch. What's up, DH Skets, the artist? Yeah, Ben Shabibo with his sister with the large breasts. That one, yeah. Anyways, why is it so fucking hot? Why is it so hot? It sucks. I hate it. Not just because, like, obviously where I live has, you know, an AC and everything, but like my job, what the least convenient thing happened ever this week, okay? My job is a big facility, right? It's where we make all the cancer, right? We make cancer there. It's a cancer factory I work at. And while we're working there, in the middle of a very serene Sunday, everything goes like dark. It turns out the building lost all of its power. And then like everything shuts down. People are confused. Eventually we get some semblance of like backup power for some lights and some like really important stuff, but for the most part the whole building has no real power, which mainly includes the AC system. And while we're not expected to keep working in that building, we are expected to tour it until yesterday, when we were actually expected to work in the building. And where I worked, it was like 104 degrees and very humid. Not fun. Probably not even OSHA compliant, but who cares about that? Granted, besides that one time, we haven't been doing jack shit, so that's been very relaxing. But still, that was not a fun experience. Do not recommend working in a hot building and getting heat stroke. Anyways, as you see behind me, I know. As you see behind me, we have a frame, a still image. Have you heard of the TV show The Sopranos, right? With Tony Soprano? Well, I've been watching a lot of that because I haven't actually seen the series. I'm trying to become a real fan, not a fake fan. So I've been watching it, and like one episode had this frame in it, and I was so put off because it's so obviously fucking fake. Look at this, Italianissimo. It's so obviously edited in. I don't know why. Could they not have just used the signs and the buildings? This is like the middle of the 3rd season. They had money. This is like a Photoshop, but it was made in like 2004, 3. So like, it just looks so bad in HD. It's a great show though. Do recommend watching, especially if you want to, you know, see what real Italian American life is like. Damn. Anyways, that's enough of you. We can get started. Let me cut the stupid music. By the way, that music and some of the music in the most recent video is from a video game called Fate Extra, which was on the Sony PSP, and old and really not too well known even from Fate fans because that game kind of sucks. I would not recommend playing it, but good music. Anyways, here comes the real horror show. Hello. Who is this? Who is this? Okay, so in this live stream, we're gonna be covering not just like the usual chuds, but also the libs. And these two right here are like, in the mafia, these aren't like soldiers, but these are associates. These are lib associates, okay? This video is titled, How Do Dems Win Back Young Men? Now, according to YouTube statistics, hang on, we'll get to that. According to YouTube statistics, most of my audience are young men. Now, maybe it's because women aren't really interested in videos about energy politics set to multi-blood type Lumina gameplay footage. Maybe they aren't into that. I don't know. Okay? But I think we should get into this topic. Also, odds are a lot of you are probably trans, and YouTube's metrics don't actually track if you are trans or not. So say it'll misgender you in statistics. I don't know. Don't blame me. Anyways, so this guy on the right here, his name is like Mika Irfan. I don't know him. I don't know what he does. He's like a lib video guy. And then this person on the left here is Olivia Giuliana, who's like a young up and atom lib journalist type person who was very active during the last presidential election and was like one of those people who was like super pro Biden when he was literally physically deteriorating before our very fucking eyes, right? So these two are going to discuss what's wrong with how they can win back young men, right? Let's find out. Oh, Christ. All right. Play.
Which probably statistically...
Wait, no, go back. Okay. Go.
Olivia writes a Substack, which probably, statistically speaking, like 89% of y'all read already.
Oh, man. A Substack? Yo, hang on. Do you guys know what Substacks are? It's like a website. It's like you can write things on a website like an article. And it's for like cowards who are afraid to record themselves. She has one. Everyone has a stupid Substack. I don't have a Substack. That's dumb.
But Olivia, I want you to talk about that Substack, and I also want you to talk about one of the newer articles that you wrote.
By the way, no one I've ever met who like would obviously be a voter, who isn't already a politics freak, has ever read a Substack before.
About why men drifted right in the previous election. I consider myself a resident expert on this because I am a man. Mm-hmm. So I feel
that is an unfair stereotype. You don't know that. All right? You don't know that. You're a politics freak with a fake room you record in. That room does not look lived in. Where are the posters? Where are the beer bottles and cans of soda lying on the ground? You're a fake young man.
I feel like we could have an interesting conversation on the conclusions you reach in that article.
Yeah, so my Substack it's called A New Perspective, oliviajuliana.substack.com, and we're actually very close to hitting 100,000 subscribers on Substack. I'm very excited. But
you guys, I meant big deal.
I write a lot about politics, and I hate that all these newsletters are the same. There's so many Substacks that you get on, and they're all telling you the same stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to give you a new perspective on the political issues that are going on.
Wow.
And so
I
keep seeing people talk about young men in the 2020 cycle or in the 2024 cycle. And they keep saying like, well, it's because like they're not getting laid enough.
First off, I'm pretty sure that's kind of true. Let's just be real here. Okay. Let's just be real here. I don't mean like, you know, if you've had sex, boom, you have no more problems. That's not true. But I would say that like people who have a more involved social life are probably a lot happier, or at the very least way more busy, in fact too busy to be unhappy, than people who don't, right? What's up, Silver Trim Hill? We're covering politics. Right now we're going over some libs. Like, how do I explain this properly? Because like a lot of you also are like me and don't really have much going on socially, so you wouldn't get it. But like, here, good example, The Sopranos, right? That TV show we discussed earlier. Tony has like 1 trillion people he knows. He knows too many people. He can't keep track of them. He's got his own family. He's got his gumas. He's got his associates and friends and business partners. And every fucking episode is him driving all up and down New Jersey and going and eating 1 trillion times and talking with them about 1 trillion goddamn things and going to several social functions, along with and the actual work he has to do. And by work, I mean kill people, right? If people, and that's what people should or typically do deal with, right? A lot of other people. But young men are very antisocial right now, or at least a lot more antisocial than they used to be, which means they have a lot of time to think and a lot of time to worry and get stressed out and look up weird Discord servers with black suns and Nazis in them and epic memes and references to stuff like Vrills and I don't know, other far right things, right? We should discuss anarcho-syndicalism, that is true. But like, again, if people are generally more social, they'll probably be a lot less right-wing, right? So I think part of it is, in some aspect, getting laid, because having a girlfriend probably makes you a very, very happy man. And a lot less able, and less likely to vote in some creep.
And they feel judged. And, you know, or alternatively, well, they're just racist and they hate women.
First off, another hard fact is that is true for some people. Some people are those three things. Probably half my audience, I assume.
So, like, it's really, I see these takes coming out from both sides of the party wing, I would say. And I just think that all of that is wrong. I think all of it is wrong. Okay. And so I wrote this piece called The Politics of Getting Laid and Preachy Females. And I really dive into...
Oh, guys, this is what it is. She's going full pick-me mode. She's going on like the other girls mode. Listen, I'm not here to discuss how this woman looks or any physical attributes of her person, but I also can't control you people, so you can go ahead and do that for me, I guess. But like, do you think that making an article about how actually, yes, young men, women are the problem is maybe preachy? Well, no. So it is a it can be a bit of a distraction. It can be a bit of something that just takes up more of your time and energy to vote or think about politics. But I think, especially if you're young and impressionable on the internet, having a more full social life probably will prevent you from getting into epic rabbit holes, right? Or maybe you'll watch a bit less Blackstone edit Instagram videos, right? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't fix much problems, but I imagine people who are happy are a lot less able to be as hateful, in my opinion.
What I actually perceive it to be, and shocker, it's all economic anxiety.
Oh,
I think the Democrats have a really bad problem of every time we message to young men, we frame it in a way that is wrapped up in the same principles that we critique. We critique the patriarchy. We critique the way that men have hierarchy and power.
Okay, hang on, a bit of a video tip here. I don't like the slow zoom into her, the gesticulating and talking. It's a bit creepy.
Structures, and then we message to them as if not only is that the reality, but that they have to continue to be like that. So the example I use in the article is the issue of abortion. When we message to young men on abortion, or men in general, we do it from the position of, well, real men protect women. And if you care about the women in your life, you should be pro-choice. And that might be true. That is true. But we don't come at it from the approach of this is the reality that young men face about that issue. Because it's entirely possible that a young woman in college gets pregnant unexpectedly, and that could upend her life if she doesn't have access to abortion care. But it's also entirely true that the young guy who gets her pregnant, now he's on the hook to not only take care of this child that could be him, that could be coming into the world, but also to take care now of the mother of his child. And I think,
again, I don't think the guys who are voting for Trump are going to be swayed by any abortion stuff. That's just the case of it. Abortion's a weird, tricky political issue because it's not really a young person thing, I don't think, right? Like, it's like it's like a Gen X thing. Gen Xers care about abortion a lot, and old people too. And the religious types too. And I don't think the Democrats lost because they didn't get the religious young men vote, okay? I don't think young men cared about abortion. That's whatever as an issue, I think.
I think that it would be so much easier if we just understood that the problems we're having with young men shifting to the right, it's not because they don't agree with us on the policy. They do agree with us on the policy. It's because...
Wait, hang on. So no. Democrat policy doesn't engender any good feelings with young people. That's the problem. That's why, again, this video was like a month ago, but that's why just recently in New York, Andrew Cuomo lost the primary against a young guy who wants to make like state-owned grocery stores and shit, right? Your policies are shit. They're boring, and they aren't really gonna fix much. Hell, another guy we're gonna get into on this stream also agrees with me on that, the fact that the Democrat policies are really boring and stupid and don't make people excited for anything because you don't promise them anything, because the last two losing Democrat elections were predicated by people who just told people, hey, we're gonna make everything the exact same. Hillary Clinton ran on America's already great, there's no problems, when people have problems, and you don't win elections by saying there's nothing wrong going on. That's so stupid. And then Kamala Harris lost because she said I wouldn't, because she's from Joe Biden's administration, which wasn't super popular and was literally getting old. And she said she could never divorce herself from that administration and disagree with anything he said, which made her look lame. So no, it is your policies. People disagree with your policies. Ugh.
They feel like we don't understand the struggles they're facing, the actual struggles, not the perceived struggles of the masculinity crisis or whatever it is, the actual struggles. And instead, we just kind of want to blame them for all of our problems.
Right. I think there's a lot of that I just fully agree with. I mean, we just don't message to men, right? And I was like we don't message in a way that resonates to men. Like something that you kind of responded to that I've seen a lot is, well, the reason why Republican messaging resonates with men is because men want bad things, right? It's like men want to have sex and like own women, right? Like they want to dominate everybody. And Republicans say, you get to do that. And then Democrats can't say that. So we just lost men. It's over, right? Like, what are you talking about? Like a lot of times it will be men that are liberals who will like agree with that shit. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like there's a lot of men.
Okay. So there is this sort of like prog lib angle. True. There is this like prog lib angle of just saying like men are all disgusting, inherently right-wing creatures that want to destroy and dominate everything, right? And if they want to maybe win elections, they shouldn't do that, right? Remember, this is all couched in the idea of winning elections. Not being correct, but winning. That's because that's also another problem with liberals and Democrats trying to win campaigns on social issues, right? Mainly by saying that like okay. An example from the last campaign. There was this weird week. There was this weird week before like Kamala won where there was like a video of Barack Obama who was endorsing the campaign. And he was talking to a room full of like black teenagers and 20-somethings, right? And he was just sitting there saying, "Y'all are sexist and horribly racist and rude towards women. And that's messed up, G." That's what Obama said. And then the election happens, and every bit of data says that like actually most black men voted for Harris. They did that for no fucking reason, right? They gotta stop with that. I agree with this young man here, but like, let's keep going.
That don't think that way, obviously, and it's just such a negative view to take on like half of the human race.
Well, I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men. You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spend a lot of time on college campuses, and I spend a lot of time with.
You're not gonna. Wrong. Bad move. I don't know how many college students there are actively in the United States, especially college students who aren't like, after their 20s or so. But like, if you want to motivate people to vote, you shouldn't be aiming towards college people. You should be aiming towards the working class people, right? Or, I know it's hard to do so, messaging towards the young men spending times in their bedrooms all day on the computer. The right wing can do that very easily through usually YouTubers and influencers and fucking the Twitter accounts and shit. Maybe not Twitter accounts, but you know what I mean, right? But of course, she goes to a college full of usually liberal people. Like most colleges and the areas around them are blue counties, anyways, and blue cities. Kind of self-defeating doing that, huh?
Young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys, and in that.
Okay, this is stupid.
I realized like even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who supported Black Lives Matter. And so I feel like people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcomed in it.
They're not talked to, right? And yeah, they're not welcome. That's true. Like there's a lot of times where it's like being like masculine characteristics or seem like they're frowned upon, and they're kind of welcomed and championed by the Republican Party. And like masculine characteristics are not characteristics that are intrinsically bad, right? And I think that some Democrats have presented it that way. Now, obviously not most Democrats, but it's like this perception that a lot of guys have had. And in terms of issues, like good messaging is messaging that resonates with people's actual anxieties and lived experience, right? And so, yeah, like
again, they're talking about messaging and not policies, right? What are your policies? What are you gonna promise these fucking people if they vote you in? That's what they want. Democrats will say fucking forever how much like, oh, we're here. We're here and we feel you. I feel your pain. We get it. You know, it's rough out there. Anyways, but we're gonna keep the line going up, and we're not gonna improve any feature of our welfare state. In fact, we're gonna keep it as austere and hollowed out as possible. And get a job, I guess. Like you're not giving them anything, idiots. It's like trying to tame a wild animal, but you don't give it food. You just keep talking at it. It's stupid.
The whatever podcast can resonate with men that are like incels or like struggling with women.
What is this? What is? Maybe I'm in my own little echo chamber. Maybe I don't know anything, but like, how many podcasts are there? How many video podcasts are there? Why is this shit 10 hours long? What can they say for 10 hours? What is this? That's my question. What is the whatever podcast? Hang on, let me open up a different window and look at what the hell this is. I don't know what the hell the whatever podcast is. What? There's a million of these. Okay, whatever podcast, go. This sucks. What the hell is this? Getting girls' numbers but using 1980s cell phone. This is a prank YouTube channel. This isn't a podcast. Is it on their live? This is for idiots. This is for like bottom lip hanging out, drooling idiots who see boobs in the thumbnail and go, whoa, yo, hold up, yo, this is fire. They click on it. This looks stupid. The people who watch this, they don't vote. They probably couldn't figure out how to vote. They first off, most of this audience is probably ESL. Okay, they probably don't live in the United States. They just know enough English to watch this shit. This is crap. Why are you comparing yourself to crap, Olivia? Or not Olivia, but fucking Micah.
Because a girl was mean to them or whatever, and they're able to project upon like those women which come on and like look really dumb. They're able to say like, yeah, all women are like this. I feel better about myself. But there's all these other things that.
Another thing. Okay, probably the last thing I'll say about this video because it's kind of boring. It's like meeting men where they are, inclusive messaging, simple policy platform. That's stupid. I lost my train of thought. God damn, that's what I get for making voices. Boring, stupid, meet men where they are, whatever podcast. Oh yeah. The other issue of going with like social issues is that when it comes to like social problems and topics, people genuinely are kind of stupid because they have personal biases. You know what they don't have personal biases about? How much they're getting paid at their job. I'm pretty sure everyone has the exact same fucking opinion about getting paid at their job. They'd love to get paid more. They'd love to spend less money personally. People like that. They love economic material things, right? They don't, but when you go there and say, we need to hashtag, I don't know, embrace women or whatever, some stupid shit, some Democrat nonsense. There will be dudes who will see that and go, yo, man, a woman was mean to me once in high school. I have a grudge against all of them. I'm not voting for you. It's stupid. They're stupid. But you have to get voted by stupid people. Anyways, this video was lame, but this is like some Substack user like nonsense. This is like some fucking dude who writes articles on the internet for money. Pretty lame. What are the actual Democrats doing on YouTube? What is their actual goal right now? Well, they do have a YouTube channel, and for like the last month or 3, they've been putting out some fire content. Let's watch. And before you look right here, it's the Democrats. Look, they have a new logo. It's a donkey again. And this video has 821 views from 4 days ago. That's like mean numbers. That's not good. This is their best. This is their leftist Joe Rogan. Shitty guitar music. What is this music? Sucks.
It's Tuesday, June 24th, and welcome to the Daily Blueprint. I'm Hannah Moldavan, Deputy Communications Director for the Democrats, and your host today. First, and what you need to know today, we're monitoring the evolving situation in Iran.
You stuttered, idiot. That's what you get for doing this live. Okay. I have been inside corporate buildings before. And in every corporate building, there are just TVs on the walls that don't do anything except playing like this weird roll of video they have constantly, nonstop, forever until you're dead. This looks like something you would see on the TV at a wall of like a corporate building. No, it's not a donkey. It's a new donkey. Okay, they changed the donkey's design. Now they made the donkey. The donkey is now like a corporate art donkey. Like here. Democrat donkey logo over time. Come on, is there no like? Why aren't there multiple of these? New tab. Go. It used to be this. It was a donkey with the red bottom and the stars, and the red bottom was to symbolize how Democrats are still like 50% all just conservatives anyways. What's up, Missy? Hope you enjoy your breakfast. It's 2:33 p.m. It's not breakfast eating time. Yeah. This used to be their donkey, and they simplified it into like this thing right here, which again, it's corporate art. Anyways, speaking of corporate art, like, okay, if this is their plan to get like online traction, it's not gonna fucking work. Having a lady dressed as a news anchor in like an obvious big studio set, well lit, talking about Iran.
And are here to break it down for you. First, Trump's administration is all over the place. The morning after Trump unilaterally bombed Iran without congressional approval, senior administration officials...
He had to say that because if he bombed Iran with congressional approval, it'd make it good. I'm not going to cover this too much because it's just her talking about,
have chosen with many...
we have Dobbs.
And today marks the...
Stag eggs on a fence. 3 years since Dobbs. Boring. But if she had brought up Donald Trump on here and said Donald Trump is a gay retard, everyone would vote for these people. It's true. If she went up here and did hashtag rape Donald Trump, everyone would clap and cheer because we like being negative. But their best way of being negative is to say, sir, you did the bombing wrong. You're supposed to bomb with us. You need permission next time, sir. The bombing was justified. Hail Israel, but still, sir, you did it wrong. Lame. Tell Trump we're not going to war with Israel, dipshit. Easy. Easy. Also, like, have you seen like what right wingers do with their sets? They make it at the very least the big ones like Ben Shabibo or fucking Matt Walsh. They'll have like knickknacks in the back. It'll be like darker lit. It looks a lot more casual. They aren't looking like the fucking news because the news is boring. They should go insane right now, but they don't because they're lame. Anyways, okay. That's general libs, in my opinion. But, dear viewers, there is a new kind of lib out in the prowl, okay? There's a new movement. There's a new idea that liberals might be engaging more with to try to win the next election. Yes, I said it. It's my word. I have plenty of my words. Trump was elected so I could say that word. Very easy. And that new idea is abundance. Do you know what abundance is? Let's find out with this interview of Abundance's chief political officer, of Abundance's new Führer, Ezra Klein.
I think there are too few visions of the future.
This is an Ezra Klein. He is like an old school, like, political essayist on the internet back in like the Iraq War, okay? He co-founded Vox, the website, which I have a wish-washy opinion on. But he was like the most followed like political guy by the Biden administration, right? He has leverage and weight. He also used to have glasses, but he got rid of those because it made him look weak. This is a channel called Joshua Citarella. He does like a show called Doom Scroll. It's a pretty alright interview show. I'm also pretty certain that's not copyrighted. Yeah, it's not. He interviews a lot of like people theoretically on the left, sometimes even some other people. But let's see what Ezra has to say for himself. Are there timestamps? Hell yeah, there is. Okay, so spoilers. Don't look at that. Yeah, abundance. Let's see what abundance is about.
The future? What is the politics of abundance?
First and foremost, I think an effort to refocus American liberalism around a different question. I think American liberalism for a very long time has had the question, what can we subsidize? So you look around and you see health insurance is expensive, maybe we can help people afford it. That's Obamacare. You look around and you see college is expensive, maybe we can help people afford it. So you have student loans, right? You can kind of go down that way. Housing, vouchers for, rental costs. SNAP helps people afford food. That's great. I spent a lot of my career working on trying to get healthcare expanded. The problem, if you look in the places liberals govern, is that there is not enough of the things we want to subsidize. So you can give people in San Francisco, or for that matter, New York City, housing vouchers, but there aren't enough homes. So that'll just drive the price of housing up. You can give people student loan subsidies, but if there are not, frankly, enough colleges and they're not being governed well, then they'll just pocket the money and raise tuition. We can talk all we want about climate change, but if there is not enough clean energy, we're not going to get to the other side of it. You can pour money into high-speed rail, but if we're not building things effectively, you're never going to get it.
All right, so I've read his stupid book. I've read the abundance book. What he is selling here, guys, what he is trying to convince you of is that actually the problem with America isn't that everything's too expensive. It's that everything's too expensive to make. When you build housing, there's all these regulations getting in the way of making it affordable to build it. When you make medicine, there's all these pesky trials and and government oversight that makes it harder to actually get the new medicine made. Let's get rid of that. And if by doing so things happen faster, we get the benefit politically because people will vote for us because the things that we said we'd do and did had more immediate results, right? His idea is that when people vote in some dude like Joe Biden, right? In Ezra's mind, Joe Biden did everything correct. But to Ezra, Joe Biden wasn't reelected because all of Joe Biden's epic actions and cool policies didn't have results before the next election. They took too long to get people to think, man, I am actually eternally loyal to Joe Biden. Now, my problem with this idea of his, of getting rid of regulations, of getting rid of like any government means of maintaining quality is that it's not going to work. That's the problem, right? Let's keep going.
And then there's this question not of the things we know how to build and don't build enough of, but the things we don't yet know how to build. But
oh my fucking Christ! Okay, this is a cool thing these people do. They love going like actually, there's no problem with our innovation, but our innovation has a problem. They fucking love that shit. They love doing that. They love saying shit like that because it's epic. Okay, it's abundant to just do the word swap around. Okay,
we need. So a lot of people suffer from really terrible autoimmune conditions. We don't really have answers to them. But if we did, then health insurance would be worth a lot more, right? Ozempic has changed the worth of what people get out of having health insurance. If you look at decarbonization, right? We don't have green cement, at least not in an affordable way. So cement, if you made it into a country, would be the third largest emitter of greenhouse gases on Earth. Until we figure out a way to do green cement, green jet fuel, things like that.
Fucking, this is the other thing this fucking guy says. We need green jet fuel. This is the fucking thing they do. This is what they love to fucking do. They love to see how the world currently functions, how the economy currently functions. And then they say, well, how can we keep it the exact same? How can I consume the exact same way, but not feel bad about it? That's how they fucking operate. It's how liberals operate. They don't like feeling bad about doing things that they know is bad, so they want to find ways to make it theoretically better, right? We need green cheeseburgers. We need green AI generated pornography because I feel bad when I'm using the AI like that. Like fuck off. Just how about you change what we do in the first place? Is that hard? Is that the government? Can they do that? Exactly.
That we don't really have an answer on decarbonization.
Right.
So we both need to.
But we do. First off, if we did manage to get rid of like transportation's use of carbon, that would be like the biggest fucking the thing you could do, right? If people stopped using gas-powered cars and diesel-powered trucks, if we stopped having interstate flights and used other means of transportation for that, it would do a lot of good. That'd be insane. The second thing after that would be electricity generation, right? We stop burning coal and methane, and also wood pellets. It go a long fucking way, right? And Ezra's book is tepidly pro-nuclear, right? I've read it, but what Ezra also loves is the potential of AI. That's a problem because the current AI shit, it's all carbon. It's literally the biggest polluter, like increasing the biggest growing pollution source is electricity generated purely to meet the demands of data centers in the United States. That ain't good. No, you can have cars as electric cars, right? Hell, we do. keep your natural gas and coal. If the cars are all electric and you kept that natural gas and coal plants, that would still be better. And if you weren't stupid, you would do that, right? If you were, right, especially in the United States, right? Because we don't use our oil to make gasoline. Most of the oil we get for gasoline is imported because the oil we drill up in the United States can't be refined into gasoline because it's not the right kind of oil for our refineries. And no one wants to build a new refinery to refine that kind of oil because it'd be really expensive. And we can't just tell the market to do things because that's anti-abundance and anti-capitalist. But if we stop being dependent upon imports of oil, that'd be a lot more freeing politically for our country.
We need to be able to solve things through supply. That partially means being able to build things we know how to build, like homes and solar panels, and partially means being able to invent things we don't yet have, like green cement and different kinds of cures. And abundance is an effort to kind of focus liberalism back on that question of how do we create the splendor of the future that we were once promised and once believed we would have.
You mentioned in the book Fully Automated Luxury Communism by Aaron Bastani.
So embarrassing. Fuck me, man. This is another thing people like to do is they go, the issue of our politics is that we don't have a positive vision for the future. And it's like, good. You shouldn't. That's why you do things. How do I say this properly? Problems give you more of an urgency to act than not having problems, right? If you say the future is going to be real bleak if we don't do X, people might actually get motivated. That's how Trump won both elections. He said shit was bad. Ezra here isn't saying shit's bad. He's saying, shit is kind of inadequate. Shit could be improved and more efficient. It's not as good.
Book I like very much.
Yeah, Ezra wants to make the planet into that Chobani commercial with the cartoon one with all the green robots and the local farm shit, the eco-futurism type stuff. That's what he wants.
Very near and dear to my heart. Nick Zernick, someone I've had on the podcast in the past, him and Alex
This is the host. He's okay. Don't get mad at him. It's not his fault.
Williams are the authors of Inventing
He is also from New York, so you can't get mad at him for that. That's a good reason to get mad at somebody if they're from fucking New York City.
the Future.
Yep.
Similar genre of a kind of productive, Promethean, techno-optimistic vision of the future. Supply-side economics is often something we hear from Republicans and conservatives. Your refocusing of liberalism, are you moving it towards the center or towards the left, or how do you understand this?
I was going to say neither.
I don't really think it tracks that well. I mean, I guess in my debates with some of my lefty friends, I think I am to their left in the sense that I want to unshackle government.
Oh my fuck me. Actually, if you think about it, I'm further left than anyone on the planet right now because I want to get things done.
To accomplish the things that it promises it is going to accomplish. I think part of why we have a rising populist right around the world, and specifically in America, is that government doesn't deliver that well.
Right.
And when it doesn't deliver that well year after year and decade after decade, when it's sclerotic, when it's process obsessed, when it keeps making promises it doesn't make good on, eventually people begin to turn to figures who say, well, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work because I'm going to blow through the rules. I'm going to bust through the walls. I'm going to not respect all these strictures that are keeping everybody else tied up in knots. So
Yeah, no. The issue of the populism is that they want to do things, and that's not fair. Hang on, I'll be right back. I need to fix something on my chair. All right. Anyways, so this is the more boring Ezra Klein interview because they aren't doing funny things, but there is a more exciting one.
The government cannot afford.
Fuck you, saving my spot. This is what I want. This is why Ezra Klein is so fucking angry with Democrats. But they couldn't say fucking in the thumbnail, so they did this. Because it's Hassan Minaj.
I don't think I am cursing as much as that little montage
Cursing?
of things clipped from different podcasts
Yeah.
and interviews
Wow.
makes
But
it
it's your
sound.
right.
Everybody in the government of California should be embarrassed as shit. We f***ed up governance. F***ing great. They just promises more shit.
Oh my gosh, he's saying shit. Everyone, clutch your pearls. Ezra's so mad about the economy that he's gonna say fuck. He's gonna say shit? Oh, crazy. You can't see that on television.
That was a load of bullshit. There's a lot of things they're doing over there that I don't f***ing love. This shit is f***ed up and bullshit. They're doing stupid shit to cover your ass on lawsuits. You have to be rip shit angry. You knew what you were saying was bullshit.
Also, if you're gonna base your video upon the fact that someone's cursing to express how mad they are, you shouldn't censor the cursing out. You should just let it hang. First off, I've cursed in my videos and not had it censored as recently. I think YouTube's changed some things with their algorithms. It happens when you press the button saying this video is not for children under 13. I press that button because my videos aren't, because I talk about boring, lame shit, right? And I say fuck. Maybe Hassan Minaj over here, maybe him and his hair, maybe they do want this video to be seen by children. Maybe children want to learn about abundance and how many times Ezra Klein says shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ezra Klein.
That was the end of Ezra Klein's career at the New York Times.
Ezra Klein has been explaining American politics for 20 years. But what's changed over that time is who's listening. Back in Ezra's Vox days, all my nerdy liberal friends were...
This is the way he looks. This is what he used to look like. Okay, this is what this is the guy who's fucking angry at the Democrats.
Where Ezra Klein stands. They would send me Vox articles about the Affordable Care Act or Dodd-Frank, and I pretended to read each and every one. But today, Ezra has a much more powerful audience than a bunch of Sacramento virgins. As a New York Times columnist and popular podcaster, he has become a legit celebrity with very real influence in the Democratic Party. He was one of the first liberal pundits to admit the thing that everybody already knew, that Joe Biden's brain had turned into applesauce.
By the way, before the 2016 election, Ezra Klein put out an article, and you can look it up, about how actually we should genuinely recognize how impressive Hillary Clinton is before she lost. It was very poetic.
And that column that he wrote had a huge impact. But candidates and campaigns, they're not really Ezra's specialty. Ezra's a policy guy. He loves policy. He literally once wrote,
I understand if you have Ezra curse, because that's a thing in the video. But why, if you're gonna bleep out the cursing, why would you do it? This is the scripted part of the video. You fully control this. You bleep out cursing when you're like in a live conversation. God damn these people.
that, quote, the point of politics is policy. Now, if you said that into a mic at a Trump rally, you'd literally get booed off the planet. But Ezra has so much to say about policy that he wrote a new book about it called Abundance. So I sat down with him to talk about the book, his recent glow up, and what the f is up with all the f***ing swearing.
You skip his gay intro. Go.
Promise you. Like, shut the fuck up with that. Oh, get the fuck over it.
Okay.
It completely sounded like what it actually is to me, which is bullshit. A bunch of this was bullshit.
Guys, he has a potty mouth. Did you realize that yet? He says bad words.
A little bit of cursing in there.
There's some.
I used to get people. I'm not Mike Birbiglia. I'm a blue pundit.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And it happens at the time. Some.
Yeah.
We have the little explicit tag on the show.
Right.
I think
Explicit. Yo, don't have your grandma hearing this. He's gonna talk about how housing development is being curtailed by requiring filters near overpasses. Oh, crazy.
since the election, more people have been having me on their shows.
Yes.
And I'm a little freer.
It's wild
when
to
my
see.
editors aren't the ones looking at the transcript.
It has been so fun to see an introvert turn into Samuel L. Jackson. But the real question I want to ask you is:
guys,
is the
hang
cursing?
Hang on. When you see this, wait, where is it? Go back. Yeah.
Back in Ezra.
When you see this, do you think a guy screaming, "I want these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane"? Do you see a cool guy making explicit content? No. Okay, let's skip the cursing part. That's boring, man. Fuck. Emotion, cruelty, a meme, the left effing up governments. That's what we want. Go.
Well, on my side of the aisle, we fucked up governance. And we explained it away again and again and again. And we can talk about it nationally, where I think in some ways the problem has been less bad. But I'm Californian, you're Californian.
Yeah.
And I like the people in many cases who.
True, this guy should be Mace Windu. I'd love to see how cool this guy is. Can I say something about Star Wars since you brought that up? I don't know why, but like Mace Windu becoming like a medic badass is only because he's played by Samuel Jackson. If this guy was playing the character Mace Windu was, right? This other Jedi who's like the second guy in charge, he would be such a lame fucking character. But if you have a cool guy play him, then he's a cool character. It's not fair for the script, right? If you just read the script, he wouldn't be a cool guy.
Who lead the government in California, Gavin Newsom and others. And California is losing hundreds of thousands of people every year because they can't afford to live there.
Right.
In San Francisco and Los Angeles. Like I'm from outside LA. I lived in SF during a bunch of the writing of this book. And, I had friends who were moving away because they couldn't afford to raise families in the place that they protected in some cases, the place that they served, the place where they treated the sick and fought fires. And we have been explaining this away. Michael Bloomberg used to say that New York City is a luxury good, right? It is a luxury good, and so it should be priced like a luxury good.
What do you mean this explaining away? Graphs, details, like those sort of things?
No, I don't mean graphs or details. I mean just being okay with it.
Oh, hand-waving it. This is not that big of a deal.
Hand-waving it, saying it's the other people's fault, not fixing it.
Got it.
Or when government fails. Everybody in the government in California should be embarrassed as shit over high-speed rail. See, there it was.
High-speed rail, eminent domain. Take the land. You're the government. You're the California government. You're Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom pretends to be this hardcore dude who just doesn't give a shit and can just tear for anything he wants because he's epic. Find the land that the high-speed rail should go through. Find the guy who, quote unquote, owns it and says, "We're taking this from you. Here's some money. Get over it." And then build it. Right? But what Ezra thinks is the actual cost of high-speed rail isn't that. He thinks it's because the construction workers are too safe. He thinks the OSHA-regulated compliances for working in the heat are too silly. He wants us to be like China, kind of. He loves the whole like. So what if there's industrial accidents? Who cares? No, actually, what these guys usually say, what the abundance liberals and Democrats say, is that look at California and then look at Texas. Why aren't they the same? Is there a problem? There is a problem. Texas is less restrictive on building standards and construction. And it's like, no, it's not the reason why it's cheaper to build a house in Texas. It's cheaper to build a house in Texas because the land itself is generally just cheap because there's a lot of it. And it's not really that valuable. And in a place like Austin or Dallas, which is just surrounded by just more land and isn't like Los Angeles, where basically every piece of land that you could actually build something on has been covered in buildings. In a place like Austin and Dallas, if your building project would be too expensive to build next to this X or Y neighborhood with this X or Y property value, because that's what they base things on, is how much it would lower costs around the project, right? They could just go like a mile away and build a new exurb, right? That's what's growing in Texas and Florida. It's not the inner cities. It's the exurbs. It's the places people live in that is like 40 minutes away from a city by driving. That's where they're building stuff in. California doesn't really have that. You go too far out from Los Angeles, it's a bunch of hills and mountains you can't build on, and then a giant desert no one wants to live in. Texas and Florida just has more land that can be used like that, right? Hell, just recently, some GOP guy, I don't know his name, he's like some Congress guy, I think. His name is Mike Lee, I think. He wants to go sell off all of our national land for housing development. In theory, that's what Ezra Klein wants, right? We need the cheap land. It's stupid. And Ezra, another problem with abundance, maybe I'm getting a bit too ahead of here in this video, but like, another problem is that their perceptions about supply and demand are just wrong, right? What Ezra wants to lower is the risk in paying to build something, but what about the demand to build something? Why would a housing developer spend all that money to make housing that's not going to be worth as much because they just built it, right? There's a reason why houses are so expensive. It's because they aren't making more of them, and therefore increasing the price of the ones that already exist there, right? When has a company, a construction company even, decided their job wasn't to make money, and was instead their job? Yo. Yo, hold up. Am I back? Are we back? Hello? Hello? Everyone back? Everything good? Fucking thunderstorm took out my fucking internet for a second there. God damn it. Like I was staring at the screen. I have lights on in the back, and then I saw the lights like blink a bit. They like blinked. I was like, fuck. But yeah, no, we're back. Fuck me, man. Ugh. And that was in the middle of a rant too. I was doing a rant rack. I was going off on abundance and how no one wants to be supplying a low demand good, but whatever. Anyways, I guess maybe Ezra Klein is a cursed topic, huh? Maybe this will be viewed. This will be a topic visited in a different format on this channel. We'll see. All right. So this is what the libs and the left is doing. Okay, we're having a large women talk about young men and being wrong. We're having the Democrats try to make their own YouTube stuff, which is bad, and we're having some lame New York Times writer complain about people not dying from cancer by cutting MDF without a mask in a construction site. But what is the right doing right now, huh? What are they up to? So this happened like a month ago or so, and I didn't cover it back then, but it is really embarrassing, and I want to see what an expert has to say about the subject. Now, I have not seen this video. I don't know how good of a format it is, but let's see what this woman has to say about this.
Use against me.
Oh, Christ. This is a VTuber I am so sorry. This is a VTuber known as Kirsch. She's a right-wing VTuber, very epic. She gets into constant like spats on Twitter and is a gigantic Asmongold simp. And this video is titled Foxu News. Trump confronts South African president. Now, if you don't know, there's this whole thing. I think I covered it. I'm like, maybe I covered it. There's this whole thing a month ago about like Trump having the president of South Africa show up to the White House and discuss like cool diplomatic stuff, and then Trump like fucking jump scared him and said, "Look at all the white genocide. Look at the white genocide happening in your country." It's what Trump said, and it was really embarrassing. Let's see what a foreign policy expert has to say about this. Oh man, really cool. Look, she's shaking her head in front of her camera.
This person sent a message to like a specific like reporting off.
I'm also blocking her stupid model, which as you know is actually what she looks like real life. Let me put this. Fuck, where do I go? Where do I go, chat? Right here. There, great format. I know. Choose a struggle. I know.
Platform like terrorist behavior or whatever to Twitch.
Terrorist. Okay, this is just some person on Blue Sky. No one gives a fuck. Where's the South Africa? What is this crap? Lady, add timestamps at least. Where's the South Africa timestamp, you fucking loser? Okay. This is unprofessional. I make a news segment and your news is fucking stupid ass emails and Twitter shit. Walpole? There we go. That's where it is. Fuck me, man. Anyways. Okay, lady. Tell us how to feel about this. Go.
Trump's meeting with the president of South Africa, because I feel like this was an incredibly important meeting.
Okay.
And I've seen like a bunch of clips on Twitter. I don't know how long the like full thing is.
What do you mean you know how long it is? Do you have eyeballs? It's an hour and 4 minutes, idiot.
We skip around a little bit. But I think it was incredibly important to showcase that a genocide is basically happening.
Oh, fuck me.
And like Trump has talked about the Boer murders before.
Oh,
and
not
like
the Boers, dude. Fuck.
There have been a lot of people talking about like how Russia had offered asylum to Boers before. Canada and the US had declined to do that previously. Trump is now offering asylum to the Boers fleeing. So we have stuff actually happening, and it's crazy to me as well, because part of what my crazy mentally ill harassers were trying to use against me.
Is this like a middle-aged woman? How old is this lady? Lady, your voice is breaking up. What the fuck? How old are you?
Was when I was using a South African YouTuber as well as government documents as a source for Africa implementing race-based land grabbing, where as a farmer...
Oh my fuck Christ. Okay. Nope, we'll get to it when we get to it. Hang on.
You are not allowed to have over a certain amount of water unless you sell part of your farmland to the African blacks in your country.
Oh, fuck me. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure this lady is racist, but like one of the key indications of being racist, from what I can tell, is when you don't say black people or Africans, you just say blacks. You say blacks, right? That's how you know it. Because you could say black people, that's fine. But no black people call other people blacks, right? Or the blacks. But a racist would.
And I felt like that was kind of insane. That was kind of insane and kind of crazy. And the fact that I would be attacked for just reading something that exists and is real is also insane and crazy.
Also, this lady's not doing VTubers right either. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but every like successful woman VTuber, right, doesn't use their natural voice. Or they at least don't, they don't talk how they normally talk, right? They put on an affect. They play a character, right? They don't act like themselves. They don't go there and go, and that's insane. And that's I used a South African YouTuber as a source, and they got my mentally ill harassers. No, they go, sorry, they go, and my harassers were insane, and they attacked me for using a South African YouTuber who was completely innocent, right? They do a voice. They do the anime girl voice, right? Because anime women, they don't talk like Japanese women. Have you ever heard a Japanese person talk? They are so quiet. It's weird. They sound like they're mumbling to themselves half the time. It takes a lot to make them speak up. God's sakes, right? They're playing a character. And this dumb woman here, who obviously isn't Japanese, but still doesn't get it, right? I'm pretty sure those English VTubers over at Hololive, those fucking idiots, I'm pretty sure most of them are white, and they can still do the anime voice. God damn. Yeah, speed, cadence, weird energy. This sounds like a lady like complaining on the cell phone, right?
Crazy. To be fair, you also don't trust the government documents very often. I mean, yeah, I don't trust government documents, but like they wrote it down, right?
I don't trust government documents, but Zay's Trump, he's correct about this. Oh, sure. Never listen. This lady does this, and some other people do this, including even some VTubers do this. Like lame thing where they think everything is like a Fed psyop. How like they're like I'm so anti-government, I don't trust them. I think they're all lying to me constantly, but like in the cool like UFO conspiracy theories back in the 2000s and 90s. What's that TV show about the conspiracy theories and the detectives? X-Files. They're lying to me in like the X-Files Roswell way. The glowies are after me, guys. They do that shit, and it's so fucking embarrassing. Just if you're gonna dislike the government, just do it normally, and be specific. Don't be vague about it. But yeah, they don't trust everything. They don't trust what the government says. Yeah, but like if the government says that like jumping off a cliff is bad for you, don't be like. They're lying. It must be fake. The government said so, right? But yeah, no, I don't trust governments unless they confirm my bias. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, the Boers, yeah. Anyways, this meeting, by the way, I almost wanted to cover this meeting like separately. Hang on, let me get right next to her, huh? To show how like we are VTuber comrades in arms. Okay, there we go. And also get out of the way of the video. Trump. And this guy, this was like the most embarrassing thing I've seen in a long time. Only beaten out by that Trump-Zelensky meeting, which is also a disaster. I almost wanted to cover it, but I thought it's a bit old. It's not new. I think everyone who is giving the shit about it has seen stuff about it, right? But I think the VTuber angle, the racist VTuber angle, does help.
Is this a full fucking hour?
Yes, you fucking idiot. What is this moron saying? Is this a full hour? Is this video with an hour of the thumbnail a full hour? Fuck. Dude. God damn it.
Might be. It might be.
A great honor to be with the President of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, and he is a man who is certainly in some circles really respected, other circles.
Crow, thank you for the Oshi dollars.
Like all of us, in all fairness, like all we all like that.
Wait, she did the voice. Was that an automatic voice? That's the anime girl voice. Why can't she do it all the time? That's what VTubers do. God, fuck, man.
We also have a few of my friends. Ernie Els, the great golfer. He's a truly great golfer.
I can probably increase the playback speed here.
We call him really a great golfer too, Ernie, right?
Increase the playback speed
We
here.
could add Gary to the group, Gary Player. What a group of golfers.
Oh, Gary, you smell so
There must
good.
be something in the water, right? Something. These two guys are unbelievable.
What's that?
Yeah, Gary's Gary. And David Frost, also another one that I know is such a great one. Was he as good a putter as they say, David? He's a putter. He's a putting machine, right? But he's another.
Voice is reserved for donations. Yeah, she only puts in effort to be a VTuber when there's money involved, not for her racist rants. Okay.
Something very good about South African golf, and golf is still doing great in South Africa. And they have young players I hear coming up that are going to be very good. But it's an honor to have you here,
subtitles.
My friend. It's an honor to have you, one of the greatest businessmen in South Africa.
Ross, it's because this woman hasn't said anything yet. She's watching the video with us. Okay, we're in the same room together.
And long beyond. Thank you for being here. It's very, very good. I appreciate it. So we're going to be discussing certain things. As you know, we have
certain things. The foreshadowing.
Going to
when the plot has aura and hype moments.
South Africa. When is that going to be?
In November.
In November.
Thereafter, I hand over to you. And
yes, we have it next
You
year.
originated the G20, so I'll hand over later to you, and then you lead the G20.
We're going to have it the following year.
Yeah.
So we'll be discussing many things and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers and in the media. And I would say
surely the Boer refugees in the U.S. give South Africa what they want, Whitey out of the country. There was actually.
Oh my fuck me, man. Oh, that's how you know she's racist. She goes, surely the blacks give them what they want. The whiteys out. No, man, no. Okay, this happens in the Trump interview when he hijacks it and decides to make it about white genocide. There is a political party in South Africa that's very racially charged, that doesn't like white South Africans and their economic entrenchment in South Africa and wants it to end, you know? What are they called? Like the ACP or the ADP or some shit? I don't fucking know. They have SNP. They're like, again, what people don't realize, and what this idiot doesn't realize, or does realize but is gonna lie to you about, is that like that's like a minority party, and that like the other political parties in South Africa don't like them, you know? And and they're no more, and what they say is no more racially fucking charged than what like the GOP says about like Mexicans and people from Venezuela, right? Like Trump, like literally, am I wrong? But like literally before Trump got elected on his like big New York rally, he had some like shithead comedian, some Anthony Camilla dipshit, go up there and go, Puerto Ricans are smelly and gross and I want them all dead. He had some guy go up there and do that shit, right? Like, it's literally no fucking different, or no better at least. But, you know, actually when it's about white people, it's really offensive, okay?
I can't remember which politician said it, but they were saying that like the Boers shouldn't be given refugee status because they're just escaping like consequences or some shit. I can't remember how it was worded.
No, they aren't escaping consequences. They're escaping like nothing. We'll get into it.
But I remember reading that on Twitter and I was just like, what the actual fuck? That
it's not called Twitter, it's called X. It's called X now?
That is insane. That is an insane train of thought.
Where do we get to anything good?
And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies.
Talking about trade.
Now, Binary Mind has been trying to get them to fix shit.
The respirator king. Any questions, please?
Mr. President, we welcome Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked?
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news.
Oh my god. Yeah.
They ask a lot of
Go
questions.
ahead, agree with them.
They do.
Their statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug
Where's
dealers.
the fucking racism? I came here for the racism. Oh wait, she talks a bit. She zooms in when she talks. Okay, hang on.
So don't
You
say
might
that
say
we didn't take them.
racism
We take them.
for
We're trying to
us.
get them out
In fact, folks, there might be more racism coming from the VTuber than from the video. We'll see.
as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just want a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela.
And I just want to bring this up again because a lot of people seem to forget this. Cubans were a huge, like, protected asylum class in the U.S. for ages because Cuba was and is under like a communist rule.
Okay.
And Cuba was a very dangerous place to be for a lot of Cubans.
Well, you mean for like political refugees? So there's like this cool thing. Okay, you know, Donald Trump does talk a lot. So, and Cuba's a weird subject, anyways. Like, okay, yeah, there were a lot of Cubans who fled during Revolution because those were the guys who would have gotten like probably killed because they were with the previous government and were the anti-communists, and like that just happens along with people who wanted to flee for other reasons, right? But like that's literally the same reason why a lot of people fled from places like Syria and Afghanistan, right? For political reasons. It's a political refugee system, right? It happens. But no, Cubans are right-wing and they vote for Trump and we're on DeSantis. And we still have a trade embargo with Cuba. Americans can't just visit Cuba. They have to declare a reason to visit Cuba. And we can't buy things from Cuba or transport things out of Cuba like legally. And it's so fucking stupid because it's a country right there and it's, from all intents and purposes, a pretty nice country too. It's not like a bad fucking place. This idiot doesn't know anything. And it has problems. Yeah, those problems will be probably fixed if they were included in America's international trade system, which they aren't, not because there's any sort of threat or because the government's evil or some stupid shit, but just because if any president decides to get rid of the embargo on Cuba, or let alone politician tries to be nice to Cuba, they would not vote for them. And apparently there are a big enough voting bloc in places like Florida that it would be a very fucking bad idea to do so, right? Which is so stupid. They pose zero threat to us. It's done. The Cold War's over. God damn it. Is this woman Cuban? Is that why she's bringing this shit up?
And so if Cubans could make it to American soil, they would be granted asylum status because they were fleeing a very oppressive government.
Like in Syria, or Afghanistan, or Venezuela, or a bunch of other countries like Ethiopia and Haiti. It's not safe to live in Haiti.
And Obama...
Was that her brain trying to think there? She just stared at nothing?
Obama ended the wet foot, dry foot policy that allowed Cubans to have asylum here.
What, we kicked the Cubans out? The Cubans are all gone? No. They stayed here, they had kids. That's like saying we kicked all the Vietnamese out. Like, what are you talking about?
And also stated that Cubans would be returned to Cuba if they were coming here.
First off, that's not how asylum seeking works. You can go to any civilized country right now and just declare political asylum, and the country is, at least within like international law, required to allow you to stay there, right? There's only so many countries that don't do that, and only recently the United States has chosen not to do that anymore, right? I disagree with her. I think if you were a Cuban who decided to go take a boat to America and then go to the embassy, or not the embassy, but go to like to the state house and ask for political asylum, they're gonna say, oh nope, nope, get out of here, nope, go back to Cuba. They'll let you stay, unless it's like the Trump version of that, where you go there and they see a brown guy speaking Spanish and they send you to El Salvador instead, because that's where they think you're from.
Cubans are not the kind of immigrants that the Democrats want in the country, because Cubans tend to vote more Republican. They do
That's because
do not vote the right way. Therefore, they do not get their asylum status. Thanks, Obama. Cubans are based conservatives. They are. They fucking during the Summer of Love nonsense, when people tried like bullying the Cuban sections in Florida, doing the same like, you're gonna support Black Lives Matter or we're gonna come fuck up your shop. The Cubans were
that's never fucking happened.
Like, yeah, let's see you fucking try.
Oh, I love this thing. White people do this all the time, by the way. I'm white, so I can say this. This thing where like they love it when like two minorities are fighting. Right, because it's like it's not involving them. They can just because they usually side with the more white one, which usually tends to be the ones that aren't black. That happened with the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, the epic roof Koreans. If you say the word roof Korean to a conservative in the United States, they will soy the fuck out. They will go crazy mode. Okay, they will fucking be so gay about it. In like a derogatory sense, not even a homosexual sense, but in the derogatory sense, they will be so soy over Koreans shooting black teenagers in their minds. By the way, didn't the Koreans not even shoot anybody? Stupid.
Let's see you fucking Antifa sissies try.
Antifa? What the fuck? Who says the word Antifa in 2025 except my grandma, which this lady sounds like a grandma. Maybe that's the case.
Oh God, Rosie Bell, thank you for the raid. Welcome.
Ah, she did the voice there for the money. Okay.
Welcome, Raiders. Small cow stampede. I give you the bitch. I'm a cow. I say moo. Thank you. Welcome, Raiders. Man, Cubans actually lived through communism. Yeah, absolutely. They know how fucking bad it is. And so
doesn't Cuba have like a much more robust healthcare system than the United States? Isn't it like if you're sick in Cuba, you don't have to worry about gigantic medical expenses, right? The trip to the hospital isn't gonna kill you financially.
It's like there's never been,
and they even make some like medical breakthroughs, right? In their country too. Like they actually like have like a state like pharmaceutical industry too in Cuba, if I'm not mistaken.
Been an issue in my mind with Cubans seeking asylum status, and anyone that would have a problem with white South Africans seeking asylum status because they are quite literally being murdered and their murders are being endorsed by political parties.
Every country has a political party that endorses murder, retard. Sorry, fuck. Said it again. I'm sorry for being ableist. I'm allowed to be so. Every country, that's the case. It's in the US too, right? The GOP loves it when a homeless black person is killed on a subway train by some white guy or a cop. They love that shit. They love state-sanctioned murder. Every country has a party that endorses that shit. That's like saying like, oh, this person supports terrorism. Literally everyone supports terrorism in some form or manner, right? You're not gonna get past it because terrorism itself is a very vague definition. Well, no, not everything in Cuba is great. To be fair, Cuba also has a U.S. base on their island, Guantanamo Bay. And Guantanamo Bay, funny fact about Guantanamo Bay, I think I've said this before, but like, we leased that from Cuba after the Spanish-American War, pretty sure. And back then, the lease was like $1,000 a month, which back then was a lot of money. But like, the contract was maintained through the Cuban Revolution and the Cold War, and is still ongoing right now. And every year, the U.S. sends Cuba the check, the money for the base, the $1,000, because it didn't change when changing with inflation, but like it wasn't ever gonna increase. It was a very concrete contract, and every year they get the check or the money, the Cubans shred it. They don't use it. It's fucking awesome. Okay.
I think someone being against that kind of an asylum seeker has an agenda.
Again, I would ask this lady her opinion about Syrian refugees and asylum seekers. I imagine it won't be good.
And it seems very weird that you would be against something like that. Someone who would raid you deserves a follow. Yeah, right? Fucking coming in during all of this nonsense stuff. I don't think I'm following Rosie on Twitch, so I should do that. I'm following her on Twitter. I haven't been anywhere on
this game.
And then like on other inner doors in my house, like bedrooms and shit. Like that's scary. That's scary, man. Rosie Bell's such a
breaking into my South African farm and murdering my family. That's scary, man. Yeah. Nope, not for me.
sweetheart, just like the Foxu. Yeah, we just want to fucking chill, man.
See how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa. And it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's it's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James, Director Polte. According to him, Letitia James says that the alleged
Question. That guy. Is that Elon? Because everyone else in this room who's a man is wearing a suit and a tie. Right? Because it's the fucking White House, and you wear a suit and tie to the White House. Except this guy. This guy's not. He's wearing a suit jacket and like a t-shirt, a graphic t-shirt, which is what Elon Musk wears to formal occasions because he is mentally 13 years old. There's a better angle. We might his face. He's been looking to the right a lot. If he looks forward, I can tell. Let's see.
mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. Want to get your thoughts on that? She put down that her father was a husband.
I feel like if you're in a meeting with a foreign country's leader and you're talking about things specific to that foreign country, and then a reporter just asks you something completely unrelated, they should just get kicked out. Like, not only do you not answer their question, but you're like, get him out of here. He's not here to be serious.
Shut up. Oh, he's not here to be serious. As my jiggle physics enhance my model. Sure. Okay.
Are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that
Trump's peace to war ratio is insane. Yeah, anything that can get.
That's a great thing to say right now. That is fucking awesome to say 1 month before Trump bombs Iran. Oh, cool.
Wars to stop is good, in my opinion.
Hang on. I love this shit where they're like, Trump's been the peace ticket. Even before the Iran shit, we were in Yemen attacking the Houthis. That's objectively a warfare. He's been in warfare his entire presidency until they except for that small sliver of time when they called off the Houthi stuff because we had lost like 3 airplanes in a really embarrassing way. By the way, all 3. And then when he bombed Iran, maybe like a month tops.
We will really have peace in that area.
Hot take, war bad.
The whole region.
Well, we sent our people
I wonder
there.
what her opinions are about Iran. I wonder what they are. I would love to hear them.
I think we did a very good job. I sent it by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports because all I'm hearing is death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them. And
thank you, Blue Jew. You're the best.
Ukraine, I'm fully supported by us because we would like to.
No, not yet. Radio.
I think what happens is someone asks him about the jet he was given by Dubai or some shit, which, I mean, it's not really applicable to this, but like, who cares?
We have news stories. And is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of
Here's
things.
the racism compilation.
I could show you.
I could show you the world.
It's copyrighted.
At that point, there must be killing because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill.
You know,
is that a white guy right there? Is that a white guy at the evil anti-white protest? Crazy.
It's on 1 point.
Oh, no. Trump's rhetoric is always violent. He's never been pro-peace, right? But he's smart enough to not. I mean, every politician doesn't do this anymore, but maybe not back in 2016. But he's smart enough to swear off the Iraq war. Now, Trump was never pro-peace because during his entire term, we were still in Afghanistan. One of the few things Biden did that I still think was a good idea, maybe not implemented the best way, but was still a good action in the grand scheme of things, was pulling out of Afghanistan. Trump didn't do that.
5 times speed. Let me slow this down for a second in case you didn't catch what he said.
The racism on. Slow it down.
About how the killing is part of.
Dude, Undertale, fuck. I've been waiting to find. I've been waiting for a time to play Deltarune, right? Because I was there in 2015, not playing Undertale, but watching it. I watched all 3 routes. I remember it fondly, and I definitely love to play Deltarune, but I don't know when to do so because A, it's not finished yet, and I wouldn't want to pick it up and drop it down again. I know there's a lot of content there right now with the 4 parts out, but I'm not sure how many parts will there even be. I don't even know. And B, I'd have to do it in a very proper way. Maybe I'd live stream it. Who knows? I am very lucky that I don't know jack shit about Deltarune 2. So nothing's spoiled. Even though I see constant memes of Asgore driving and hitting someone on the side of the road. After it's finished, I'll play it. How about that? When is it gonna be finished? No goddamn clue. Under Rail? I know that game. Didn't Seth Zintats make a video about it? I've seen it. I haven't played it though.
Lucian.
7 parts, only 4 out. Jesus Christ. Go to Toby Fox's house with a gun and make him finish it.
At some point, there must be killing because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill
There's a white guy right there.
The farmer. Kill the poor. The farmer.
You know, if Kamala did this, she'd be president right now. If she did this exact rally the same way, everyone got in the same outfits and said the same stuff in the same accent, she would have won. This is hype. This is hype moments right here. Question. This is the lady controlling the TV. Is this lady black? Did Trump do the thing where he's like, I can't show the white genocide video with a white guy pointing it out or a white lady pointing it out? I need a black person doing it, so that way I can't be called racist. I can't tell too because of lighting. There's,
And I just want to like put this in perspective, right? Because like this is something I have known about for probably like at least a decade now.
Oh, a decade? Fucking Jesus Christ, Grandma.
Can you imagine living in a country where a political party that typically wields a decent amount of power.
Those guys, no, this lady's dumb. She thinks that like political parties are like the ones in the US where there's just 2 and they're really strong. South Africa is like every other country where there are actually several different parties that can form, and then they form coalition governments that are several parties working together, and then they break up and they regrow, and it's a lot of changes. But sure.
Has giant gatherings like this on par with, you know, our rallies for our political parties in the US. And the politicians, the people in the party, get up on stage and start chanting for your death.
Literally, the United States does that. Literally, most countries, especially the crazy ones like the United States, probably do that, yes. Yes. Like, they might not use the exact same language because of, like, some PR reasons, but most Trump rallies were just, let's kill a lot of people. I mean, yeah.
Because of the...
But I'm a racist VTuber, and this is crazy, okay?
Color of your skin. And not only are they chanting for your death because of the color of your skin, the people in the audience start chanting along with them.
Oh,
the level of unease and fear that I could only imagine the people there feel is something that I would never be able to comprehend.
I can't. What is this lame shit? What is this pussy shit? This is super serious. I can't even imagine, like, maybe it's your brain. Maybe you can't rotate an apple in your mind. I can. Yeah, political violence, grow up, baby. Come on. Anyways, racism compilation. Here's the graves.
Journos are angry because it's not technically a burial site. Yeah, but they're also the ones saying...
Also, this is some random fucking footage. Oh, by the way, wasn't this footage, like, found out to not even be in South Africa? And, okay, hang on. I want to get to the part where, like, they're fighting back a bit.
For the deaths of people...
Okay. I mean,
It's like the Armenian genocide in real time. It's not happening. I've never seen this.
Christ, come on. Hurry up.
We just showed you a political party calling for the deaths of people based on their skin color, and we just showed you over 1,000, like, memorial markers. Yeah, it is.
Terrible reporter.
He is a terrible reporter.
That was the jet thing.
Happening. And if you play the video in front...
Okay, this is over with, because this is just, like, her freaking out, going apoplectic about the same shit. Just to cover South Africa, white genocide, whatever the fuck. So, South Africa has a lot of crime because of a lot of economic disparity, right? There's a lot of crime there. There's also a lot of Africans there, right? Africans, black people. More Africans than there are Boers, which are the Dutch, which are specifically, by the way, Boers, the Dutch immigrants before the British colonization. And then there's white British people there too. And also, like, a lot of, like, other people from, like, India and stuff like that. And those Dutch immigrants way back when were farmers, right? Their goal in colonizing Africa was to get a lot of farmland and farm and make money that way, right? And what happens is that even though apartheid is over, which, by the way, apartheid was within a lot of people's living memories, right? It's not like an old thing. They maintained a lot of the farmland. They owned a lot of it, right? And the farmland is out in the sticks, away from the cities, away from the cops. So when you have a lot of crime because of economic disparity, and you have a bunch of wealthy farms in the middle of fucking nowhere, what can you guess what happened to those farms? They'll get attacked, right? And while racial motivations in regards to socioeconomic castes and classism probably do play a factor in this. It's not the main reason. The main reason is that people in South Africa are encouraged to commit crimes because of their economic disparity. Yeah, it's literally the country ended colonialism. Well, not even ended really, but like ended legal colonialism like fucking 3 decades ago. 4 decades ago, however fucking long it was, right? Crazy. And when they say the government is behind it, when they say that, they mean the government is trying to redistribute the land with eminent domain, but they're being paid there. And by the way, if being a fucking farmer in South Africa was this insanely dangerous, life-threatening thing it was, why the hell wouldn't they accept having money being paid to make him no longer be a fucking farmer, right? The fucking people, by the way, that Trump got in here, they don't like it in the United States because A, they don't have their giant farms, they're off doing nothing. B, some of them don't have jobs still because their job was farming, their job isn't working at fucking McDonald's, right? And C, they go to the United States and they can't do their racism crybaby shit, right? Because everyone's here. Like, oh, Christ. Yeah, no. This lady was fucking boring. Farming VTubers are boring. I need someone better than this. Who's better than this? Here's a good video. This video is called White People Did Not Own Slaves by a guy named Remnant777.
Today's subject.
This guy has 55k subscribers, so he is bigger than me. Okay, go. Explain. Explain, man. How did we not own slaves?
Slavery.
Today, if you were to say that white people were slavers, they owned slaves, specifically black people as slaves, nobody would dispute that.
Oh, fuck yes. Fuck yes. Look at that. Look at that. It's a guy in a suit, but he has a medieval helmet on. Dude, Fuck yes. Look at him. It's the armored skeptic, but he's not because he's some other guy. Again, actually, isn't this genuinely like a ripoff? Like, he's wearing his nostalgia critic outfit, but he has the medieval knight helmet on. Like, what is the? Okay. The skeptic explainer. Tell us what's up.
Everybody would just nod their heads in agreement. But is that true? If you were to look up the exact percentage of
What is this? Is this the Hat in Time Mafia Town music? Am I wrong? What is this music? It's like some like slowed down polka. What is this?
the white people that owned slaves, you would be shocked to find out that it isn't the case. Let's look at some exact statistics here. According to Duke University, when it comes to the states of the Confederacy, at least 20% owned one slave, while in other states it went up to 50%. One statistic they always leave out, though, is that if you take into account the northern states, in the 1860s, only 1 to 2% actually owned slaves.
Okay.
1 to 2%. That means we're able to make this generalization.
Oh, okay. This guy's a big pussy. This guy is Big Pussy Compensero from The Sopranos. Look how big of a pussy he is. People say in the United States that, like, yeah, oh, papers, please? Oh my god. Never mind. I thought it was, because it would be something that you would see the Mafia guys in Hat in Time also play. Anyways, this guy saw one time someone said, yeah, white people used to own slaves in the United States, and he got personally offended because he's white and he's too stupid to realize that, like, they aren't talking about him. They aren't looking at him and saying, you did this. They're saying, oh, people back then did this. Oh, let's move myself back to my little cuck corner here. Ah, perfect. Okay. And, like, that's the fucking thing. Whenever you see, like, conservatives complain about, like, history class and like they teach white kids to hate themselves. Like, A, white kids hate themselves for lots of reasons. B, sometimes they should. And C, it's not because of this. Okay, it's not because the history teacher looks at him dead in the eye and says, "Little Billy, you own slaves." No, it's because they're stupid, and they don't realize that, like, maybe the racial categories we have in the U.S. are like maybe a bit too vague, right? Maybe racism is really stupid, and part of that would actually involve no longer having white people be a class too, but white people love being a class, so that would never happen. Let's keep going, man. Tell me.
About a group of people based off of the actions of 1 to 2%. But
that happens all the time. That happens all the fucking time, by the way. Welcome. And also, that was usually the wealthiest 1-2% as well, which are the ones who were in charge of the country. And maybe there was kind of like an armed conflict, I think, that happened sometime around like 1860. And I think maybe slave owners who happen to be white were a bit involved.
then people would say, ho, 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 wait, I'm talking about the Southerners, the white Southerners that had up to 20%, maybe even 50% in some instances. Those were the slavers. We can say that those white people were slavers, ignoring the fact that whenever people bring up slavery, they always just say white people, without specifying which group specifically. They just say white people, ignoring that fact.
We know what you meant. Also, by the way, at least up until the Civil War, for the vast majority of like British American colonial history, there were slaves everywhere, right? There were slaves up in the north for a long period of time that still did slavery things, right? It was just down in the south when it was more, where there was more agriculture going on, that it ended up with them being the ones who fought a big war over it, right? But back in Revolutionary War, there were slaves all up and down the fucking coastline, idiot.
Let's play along. Let's say that you can generalize a group based off of the actions of 20%.
Also, I love this like weird like AI pixel art he made that's very inconsistent.
You're going to be forced to say some very...
Also, he fucked up. Right here. See how, like, okay, this it's like white outline here. Maybe this isn't AI, maybe it is. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's not. But he crop these out of an image, probably some sort of PNG. No, not PNG, maybe a JPEG. No, not PNG, because PNGs are the ones you can make transparent and use in a video like this, right? He cropped these out, and you know, one of the things you can do in like a Photoshop or a clip studio is you can get the paint fill bucket, but you can make it paint nothing, like paint a delete, right? And you can just go for these dots here and just go bop, delete, delete the background color, right? He didn't do it for this one. Also, he didn't do a good job of it because you can see all the white around it, right? If you zoom in my model here, you can see a couple imperfections. In fact, let's take a little gander, huh? Take a little inspection. Like right on the bottom right here. You can see it. Like you maybe even get their mouse. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. Yeah. How do I get it shrunk back? Go back. So yeah, again, I'm sorry for pointing this out. I like pointing out when like people making these videos and such like are incompetent sometimes. Granted, are my videos perfect? No, but like maybe I'm just doing it to make myself feel better.
Very uncomfortable things. Now, I'm not saying this. I would never. But if I were to generalize people...
Troll face in 2025? Troll face in April 26, 2025? No way.
Say that white people own slaves. I would also be forced to say that men are felons.
What is that? Hang on, what was that?
Say that men are...
Can you not say black? Why? What is this? Is this like a joke? Or is this serious? Are you seriously not allowing yourself to say African or black people? Are you... what? Also, like... Oh, fuck me. Is there like legal institutions keeping black people as felons? I mean, there are keeping them as felons in terms of over-policing, but like, you know what I mean, right? Is there like, it's like a law that says black people allowed to be felons? No. Was there laws saying white people were allowed to have slaves? Yes. Bit of a difference there.
Felons. Women have herpes.
Jesus Christ. Everyone has herpes, right?
People
racism. That's what you sound like.
People are fatherless. Look at these numbers. This is worse than 20%.
Look at the things I just Googled online.
You're able to say that white people own slaves, were slavers because...
First off, if you're this... By the way, if you're this, like, pretty abjectly racist towards black people, why do you care about being called a slaver? Why are you ashamed of that? Is that really so, like what? Why do you give a shit? Right? This is one thing I don't get about racists. I mean, they're all crybabies and they hate being insulted, but like, if you were like literally some guy who looks up black crime statistics on the regular, why do you care about being called racist like this? Why do you give a shit? Why don't you embrace it or just ignore it? I genuinely don't know why you just don't do that if you're a racist.
Of 20%. But if you said any of those things, you would be chased down quicker than a black person by...
Also, this is 100% a whataboutism, right? You're not taking down the claim that white people owned slaves and were enslavers in the history of the United States. You're just saying, well, if you could say that, I could say this. Completely different.
The KKK. Yet these same people have no problem generalizing whole groups of people being white people because of the actions of 20% at worst.
By the way, I've been a white person my entire life. I have never been called a slave owner or even criticized for being the same race as a slave owner because people aren't fucking stupid. This guy probably hasn't either, but he's thought about it. The hypothetical of that happening to him makes him so anxious he had to make a fucking dumb video about it.
If we only count the Confederacy, not white people as a whole in America, which only made up 1 to 2%.
By the way, I'm pretty sure like half of these states in this map were like formed after the idea of slavery's expansion was like a political issue, and there was a lot of effort to stop that from happening. Like, I know in particular Kansas, which was a newer state, had like intertown violence happen over like the issue of Confederacy. A really good channel you could watch about more like Civil War era stuff and just in general the conflict of slavery is Atin Shea Productions. He does the Checkmate Lincolnite series. It's really good.
Of all slavers, we don't even need to touch on the fact that black.
But actually, if you are like an American or interested in American history, you should just look up stuff about the Civil War. It's always enlightening, I think, as to American culture and history. I think
people, when they were free, they would become slavers themselves. They didn't care at all. They had no.
Yes, welcome. People are like morally gray and complex people. Like, what are you fucking talking about? You might as well just say when they got the slaves from Africa, they bought them from Africans. It's like, congratulations. Yes, thank you. Did you also know white people owned white slaves too? Was that a thing in your brain? Maybe not in the United States because it wasn't culturally accepted, but it was. I mean, indentured servants were practically slaves, and a lot of the people who came to the United States as colonists in the early days were basically forced to by the government because they were like vagrants and wastrels and such. God damn it, man.
Problem enslaving other black people. I mean, who sold them?
This is like baby's first like slavery arguments, by the way.
To America. It was black people that kidnapped and enslaved other black people and
well, just like I said, crazy.
Traded and sold those black people to white people.
Yeah, to this guy in a suit with Nick Fuentes, I guess. Is that Nick Fuentes pixelated? Also, buddy, just go through the PNGs a bit more, like a bit better next time, right? You can do the polyline tool, or you can do the brush, right? Hell, there's probably some stupid AI program that does that for you, but you're too lazy, I guess.
But no, it's not politically correct to say that. We just got.
Why are we going back to why is there Marvel Rivals gameplay? By the way, I know I used to stream this game like back in December, but I kind of dropped it. I dropped it after the production company basically dumped the developers, the original developers of the game. Kind of scummy to do, right? Because like it's just, I mean, not scummy, it's just shitty, right? Anyways.
Gotta blame old Whitey. Now I know though in my comments, my blessed
also, bro, what be this frame rate? Yo, what is this frame? Yo, catch these frames real fast.
Blessed audience, my audience I love so much, my very special audience. They're gonna.
Oh, look at this epic photo. Look at this. Oh man, I should make my Discord profile pic this image. Does this guy not know you can record 60 FPS footage, 1080p with OBS? Is he dumb?
Gonna be people saying, "Oh, it was the small hat people that were actually the real slavers." I couldn't
find. How do you play this game at that frame rate? It's not a good idea.
Any data actually saying that we're the slave traders. Like that's a popular meme on Twitter, but I couldn't find anything substantiating that.
Wait, what?
Couldn't find anything. Like that's a.
Sorry, I
couldn't
was too
find
busy
any
by the Jeff the Shark gameplay footage.
Actually saying that we're the slave traders audience. There are going to be people saying, "Oh, it was the small hat people that were actually the real."
Oh, sorry, I missed the anti-Semitism. I was so enamored with Jeff the Shark gameplay that I missed the part where he said that actually it was the Jews buying the slaves. God damn it.
Slavers. I couldn't find any data actually saying that we're the slave traders. Like that's a popular meme on Twitter, but I couldn't find anything.
I never had fun playing
that.
Jeff.
I really think that people just made that up. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day whether it was the small hat people or white people.
You can say Jews. You can say Jewish people. Are you fucking, what is this like small hat people? What is this? It's not esoteric. We know what the fuck you mean, so just fucking say it. Jesus Christ, Donald Trump is president. Jokes are legal now. You can say Jewish people. You can say, I mean, he says white people. You can say black people. Go nuts. Jesus Christ, I hate that stupid shit. I hate this thing rightoids do, where they pretend that like their terms are like epic esoteric knowledge that the normies don't get. We know what you mean. Stop being a fucking pussy.
Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't be allowed to say that white people were slavers unless you're willing to also say that people are felons.
Also, what are the odds that this guy's not even in the United States? This sounds like an ESL accent. A good ESL accent, but an ESL accent nonetheless. This is not an accent I ever hear in the United States. Dude, again, okay. When I say ESL, I mean English second language, which might be a lot of you people, right? Nothing wrong with being English second language, but it is a problem when you're gonna be like, if you're gonna LARP online as like an American or as like a MAGA person and also not live in the United States or be like a native, like an American, right? Like at the fucking very least live there. I have no problem with ESL people, but a lot of ESL people like, okay, I mean like what's his fucking face? How am I forgetting the goddamn name? Ian Miles Chong. That is the king of the MAGA ESL community. This man from Malaysia and is going around talking about American politics 24/7, and he doesn't live here. I don't think he's ever lived here. It's weird. You should know about American politics, and fuck it. Go ahead and talk about them, because they impact the rest of the planet more so than any other country. But don't be like an American nationalist when you don't live here. It's so weird. And this guy, I can just maybe tell. It's like that joke where like every like Twitter Nazi is actually from the Philippines, because a lot of them are.
Have her.
Fucking Filipino Hands typed this, dude. Filipino Hands made this video. He doesn't have a Filipino accent. He's from, I think maybe he's European? Maybe? I don't know.
Herpes. People are fatherless. Personally, I would never say that in real life. People
Oh, get it? Oh, he censored it because he doesn't want to get canceled. Like, what are you talking about?
react very violently to words these days. Only in a civil society could we actually discuss these things. But YouTube, if you're watching this video,
Listen. For the year or so I've been making stuff on YouTube, I've only ever been like content challenged by YouTube one time. And that was when I covered, if you watched this back then, it's a video called The Conspiracy Art of David Dees. When I covered David Dees' images, and they were really funny. It's a great video, you should watch it. It was a great stream too. It was really fucking funny. When I was covering it, I made sarcastic jokes about vaccines, because David Dees was rabidly anti-vaccine. And YouTube's content ID stuff caught it and was like, are you anti-vaccine? Please answer these questions so you can better apply yourself to our content guidelines. And I had to explain to them that, like, I'm making a joke. It is a joke. They didn't take it, so I had to cut the whole thing out of the video. It's still in the live stream. You can find that still, I think. But, like, beyond that, you can say basically anything else on YouTube and still have it be content, like you still have the content for it, right? Fucking Matt Walsh can just probably shout the N-word in anger on YouTube, and he would still make $1 million off the fucking video, okay? God, I hate this stupid... This guy wants to live in 2015. This is another right-wing thing I see all the time, is that they would love to live, like, during the first Trump presidential campaign. They want to go back to there. They want to return. Okay? They want to go back when they felt like the entire planet was against them. Because right now it's not, and they don't like it. They don't have the hype. The hype moments and aura is gone from being a snide conservative on the internet. And this video is basically over. What else we got in the ticket? Okay. This video, I have a hard time finding smaller right-wing YouTubers, or even smaller YouTubers to cover in general, because there's not like a big list out there. I have to go prowl places like Twitter to find them. And there's this guy here. His channel is named Taxed Brass. I think he's a libertarian. And his video is called Accelerationism is Evil. And the thumbnail is a photograph of our old friend, What If Alt History, surrounded by fire, and the words baptism of blood. Let's see what the fuck that's about.
Hello, everyone. Today,
Oh, dude. Oh, it's my favorite characters. It's the vaporwave background and the bust. This guy's channel is actually on par with mine in terms of size, but not in terms of views, and that's you people's fault. But anyways, let's go.
I'd like to take a look at accelerationism, something that isn't really an ideology in and of itself, but rather what I call an accessory ideology.
Oh, this guy makes his PNG model, his Brantona is the guy with a hat, but he's made in Blender. Yo! Actually, you know what? At least he had to make this. At least not the last guy who used like some AI pixel art instead.
Ideology. That is a means to achieve a goal.
Okay, so he has hands crossed, he has hands outstretched. Okay.
A tool, if you will. Acceleration.
You did the pointing meme in a TF2 wrench?
Accelerationism has become a popular staple among certain groups all around the political spectrum, from wannabe revolutionaries to keyboard warriors to
guys, Wojaks. Guys, have you heard of Rojaks before? Yo.
galaxy-brained armchair philosophers who think blowing up society is a cheat code to utopia. The reality is that accelerationism in practice achieves none of this. It is not a pathway to improvement. Rather, it's a one-way ticket to a blood-soaked hellscape, and I'm going to explain to you why. If you've ever wondered what happens when you mix nihilism, a Reddit...
What the fuck is that? Okay, so accelerationism, what is that? It's this idea that like if you just rapidly accelerate the rate of political change and political conflict, that we will get better goals sooner, right? And that can be used by a lot of groups. Left-wing people can like it, when they say, oh, we should actually rapidly, have our capitalist system deteriorate and rapidly have mass strikes and a lot of violence would happen, but at the end it'd be a much cleaner outcome. It's the idea that it's like tearing the band-aid off. But the issue of some people when it comes to accelerationism is that they tend to not always actually take the band-aid off, or they might take the wrong band-aid off, right? Right-wing accelerationism would be like, I don't know, refusing to trade with every other country on the planet, threatening violence against your neighbors, stuff like that.
thread and a Molotov cocktail, the answer is that you get accelerationism.
Okay, so this guy, he's one of the cool guys who remembers that people don't like Reddit. So whenever he sees something he dislikes, he will call it Reddit. It's very epic and based in red pilled, okay?
This is the ideology for people who think that Mad Max is a 5-year plan. But before we dunk on these lunatics, let's
also, he's gonna probably say it's a left-wing thing, even though he has what default history in his thumbnail. But it's not. There's actually tech bro accelerationists who are super capitalist, and there's right-wing accelerationists too. Accelerationism is kind of like populism, right? You can use it. You can make political ideologies with it, but it's not inherently a political ideology. The only thing accelerationism is against is the status quo, which usually has it go against typical liberalism and centrism.
Define what the hell we're talking about, because trust me, it's a lot dumber than you think. Accelerationism is the deranged belief that the best way to fix society or bring about your dream ideology is to speed up society's collapse.
Is he playing what is that game? What fucking game is this? You guys are all weird. What is this game? I don't know what the hell it is.
Adherence to accelerationism.
Oh, guys, look, it's another Wojak.
Accelerationists.
Is this him as a Wojak?
Look at the world, see a dumpster fire, and think, you know what this needs? More gasoline. It's like trying to fix a broken leg by jumping off a cliff. Now,
So, usually in this situation, I would define the term in maybe a bit more of a neutral way, and then critique it, as opposed to just saying, accelerationism is a stupid idea made by stupid people who suck. It's plant versus God. Oh. Damn, dude, maybe it's me. I haven't actually never played a Plants vs. Zombies game. I am actually a Plants vs. Zombies tourist. I don't know jack shit except that there's the flower shooter, and there's the zombies, and there's the guy who plants his house is what's defended by the plants. Yeah, but what the fuck? Like, again, I almost thought this was like Fortnite, but it's not. But it looks like fucking Fortnite a bit, huh?
There are two main flavors of this madness, which is left-wing and right-wing accelerationism. Superficially, they're different, but they share the same roots and presuppositions. Both are dumber than a bag of hammers, but let's break it down real quick. First off, left-wing accelerationism. Now, these are the pink-haired, trust fund Marxists who think,
Oh my god! Oh, pink hair. Have you seen? When was the last time you've seen somebody with pink hair? I haven't. I actually genuinely can't remember the last time I saw someone with like non-naturally colored hair. I don't is that like what is this stereotype? Again, this is the 2015 brain kicking in.
capitalism is a blue sky post away from imploding. They believe that if they crank up the chaos,
Blue sky. There are no accelerationists on blue sky, dude. Blue sky, there are leftists there, but they're like the wimpy ones who like talk about voting a lot. The crazy ones are still on Twitter or on like their own Discord servers and such. You're okay. Well, hello, woman with pink hair. I'm sorry this guy has unfair stereotypes to lay upon you, but like I don't the idea that like every protest and every person online who's against like the status quo is like Big Red from that feminist lady yelling at the guy in the camera is insane, right? But Destiny, is Destiny a blue-haired insane lady too? Trying to think.
riots and strikes, smashing Starbucks windows and whatnot, it'll hasten the glorious proletariat revolution. Think of them as the kids who read half of Das Kapital, got bored, and decided burning down a Wendy's is the same as storming the Bastille.
Oh man, crazy.
Their heroes are folks like the Weather Underground who thought bombing banks in the 70s would spark the Great Communist Awakening. Instead, they just got a lot more people killed and made everyone hate hippies more, and of course...
What is this conflation between hippies and like modern day leftists? What is this? Where is this from? Like, do they not know these groups? Hippies were like Gen Xers, right? Or actually, I think some are they were baby boomers. I'm wrong. Gen X was the 80s. Hipsters, hippies. Maybe that's why. Because hipsters and hippies sound the same. Both start with hip, but hippies were like baby boomers in the 70s and 60s, right? Who were like anti-Vietnam, which was correct, but like later on became the modern day baby boomers who were like the most right-wing crazy people on the planet, only outdone by the kids after them, Gen X. But there's no hippies now. Hippies are gone. They're gone. Stop saying that. It's so lame. It's like you saw it from a fucking movie, okay?
Said communist revolution never came about. Then on the other side, you've got right-wing accelerationism. Essentially, these are the morons that get tricked by federal agents into becoming tiki torch-carrying edgelords who think
those guys aren't tricked. They are genuine. Okay.
Society's too degenerate and needs a hard reset. These guys jerk off to Viking runes and the Turner Diaries, fantasizing about a race.
All right, so this guy is what we call the classical liberal, okay? He's not a Nazi. He's not far right. You know, he actually sees things for what they are in a very tempered manner, okay? So, yeah, he doesn't want to read the Turner Diaries, right? He does want, I don't know, war with Iran, maybe. I don't know.
War collapse will let them rebuild a trad utopia where everyone's a 6'6" pagan Nordicist, armed and reciting Evola by candlelight. They're generally buying guns but never learning to shoot them, and waiting for the day of the rope, desperately hoping that the 1950s comes back.
So basically, this guy doesn't like either side of my audience. Okay.
Of course, they do nothing to actually act on this other than shoot up a school or something, which achieves nothing and sets their ideology back by years. Now, both sides think they're the chosen ones, destined to emerge from the ashes like a phoenix. After all, surely their ideology is what will rise to power when society collapses. But the reality
You want me to act like I got a heart attack? What? Heart attack sound like what? You go. And then the EKG machine in the background goes. Is that what you want? There you go.
Is that accelerationism does not work. It's never worked. It's like trying to fix.
Is this the whole video? Okay, no, he does. Okay, cool. So, okay, making sure.
Your iPhone by throwing it into a blender.
This guy is a centrist, yes.
Accelerationism isn't just stupid or impractical either, though. It's actually an actively evil ideology. To understand accelerationism, you have to understand the core of it.
Okay.
Accelerationism isn't just a bad idea, it's a moral black hole. It's built on a single, simple, and disgusting premise that human suffering is a means to an end. The accelerationists don't care how many bodies pile up, how many families are destroyed, or how many cities burn.
Also, I have never met a single person who was an accelerationist and was like very politically serious. It's like mainly like a joke ideology or like a hobby ideology. That's the thing. It could be a hobby ideology. Some people are super ideological, but they do it for entertainment, which ain't wrong. It ain't bad. You can. That's still fun. But like, accelerationists aren't at like your city hall yelling at your at your city council, right?
As long as it gets them closer to their fantasy utopia. It's the kind of thinking that makes you want to shower with bleach. Now, the evil of accelerationism becomes more and more obvious the more you dig into the ideology. Accelerationists don't build anything. They don't write constitutions, they don't invent technologies, they don't plant gardens. Their entire plan is to tear shit down and hope something better magically appears. It's the equivalent of deciding you don't like a restaurant, so you set fire to the restaurant in the hopes that 5 years from now, a better restaurant is built on the property. Historically, this never ends well. Look at the French Revolution, for example.
I should research it more, frankly, or read or listen to more about the French Revolution before I make too many crazy takes on it. But like, there were certain periods of time during it where like some good stuff happened, right? And like pre-revolutionary France was like this stratified society, wasn't good, starving peasants, the whole lot. And it gave us a lot of good stuff. Like, does this guy use the metric system? I do.
Robespierre and his guillotine fetishists thought they'd accelerate France into a utopia of liberty. Instead, Europe ended up soaked in rivers of blood, a reign of terror, and eventually Napoleon.
Hang on, rivers of blood is an ash from Elden Ring. You can't say that.
Who brought some stability for a while, but was basically a dictator.
Napoleon. I love these guys who conflate like the early French Revolution with Napoleon, because at least I know that like those aren't even the same fucking thing, right? Napoleon was actually a bit afterwards, and what actually, Napoleon, again, his conquests, unjustified, bad bloodshed. He kind of, at the very least, Napoleon did make warfare a lot more of a serious thing in Europe, because beforehand it was like he brought like nationalism to warfare, which at least gave it a bit more gravitas and threat, right? He was the first guy to do stuff like just arming the peasants in France to go be soldiers. Like beforehand, countries wouldn't do that. That was not what they did. They didn't give peasants guns. Are you kidding me? It's a bad idea. They gave like heavily selected debtors and prisoners and other like various cutthroat scumbags guns, but people who were essentially isolated from the rest of society, among other people, right? Like it's not the same thing as the French Revolution, though. And I mean, when Napoleon did conquer places in Europe, his army were full of revolutionaries, people who espoused the ideas of the French Revolution, right? And that spread to the rest of Europe and can be traced to like subsequent revolutions in Europe as well.
An exceptionally talented dictator, but still a dictator who ended up harming and weakening France long term. Good job, guys. The thing is that
What do you mean
accelerationist
weakening France long term? What he didn't really, but even after Napoleon, France was still like one of, if not the strongest country in Europe. France was the dominating superpower of Europe, maybe not as strong colonially or internationally as the United Kingdom, but still was like a giant land-based superpower until the formation of Germany in like the 1870s. And you know, that was even up till World War One, France was like the scariest country in Europe militarily. So I don't know what the fuck he meant there.
Ultimately just see humans as pawns in some sort of cosmic chess game.
Oh yeah, no. This is not good gameplay footage, in my opinion. I made the mistake before. I did put one video of Pilatro gameplay footage in the background. It was not a good idea. But like this kind of gameplay footage, like I can't see anything because it's in like this big, like boxy, shitty Blender TV. B, it's not like even in the frame of the television that he made. Like the TV itself would be finer if it was like, if this image was actually in the corners here. And you know, in video editing software, you can make this look like it's on a TV. They have filters for that. They have effects for that to give it like a VHS effect, which he obviously applied to it because it has that effect, but it's not like fucking, no TV ever looked like this. And I can't even see the fucking gameplay anyways.
Will cheer when a small business burns because it's a destruction of capitalist oppression, or will shrug at a school shooting because it wakes people up.
All right, buddy. Do you have like a point here? Let me see how this gameplay footage. Come on. Give us the Wojaks.
Accelerationist ideology of all time is Islam, or at the very least many sects of it. The Islamist reveres martyrdom, adores societal degradation.
Hang on. Yo, hold up, everyone. We have Islam. We have Islam expert coming in.
And will push society more and more and more towards chaos and fire and brimstone until some major conflict arises, which...
You are right. This like 2015 centrism like video should have like 2015 video game footage in it, you know?
He hopes the caliphate will emerge from. The Palestinians are the perfect example of this. Whether you sympathize with their grievances or not, it's clear that their strategy of constantly launching new wars for so many years in the hopes that, somehow, through their martyrdom and bloodshed, Islam will prevail, that strategy has seemingly not improved their situation at all whatsoever.
I think maybe that example there is incorrect and a bit of a generalization.
The simple reality is that if your plan to save the world involves more corpses than a Tarantino movie, you're not the hero. Because accelerationism doesn't just fail, it fails spectacularly. Every time someone tries to speed up history, they end up setting their own cause back for decades. You know what? Let's look at some examples of these geniuses in action, because there are plenty of examples outside the Middle East. The Bolsheviks were some of the OG accelerators.
The Bolsheviks? Wait, hang on, buddy. Didn't the Bolsheviks win? You can't use this. You can't use this. I'm sorry. Like, okay. You can argue like, oh well, the Soviet Union after the revolution, wasn't exactly what they thought it was gonna be. Cool, true. But like, the Bolsheviks were successful in creating a new government and changing the seat of power in their country. There's a reason why everyone was, like every other country around the world, was like insanely scared of like red revolutionaries afterwards. It's because they had fucking results, right? It's because they overthrew one of the oldest monarchies in Europe, right? In one of the strongest countries in Europe. That's not a good example.
Lenin and his merry band of bearded pedophiles thought they could...
Jesus Christ, buddy. First off, this is World War I era Russia. I imagine that word applies to a lot of other people back then too.
Skip the boring parts
Oh wait,
of
is
history
this guy?
and jump straight...
Yo, hold up. Is this guy a monarchist? Yo, hold up. This man, narrating the video, may be a based monarchist, okay? He's mad about the French Revolution. He's mad about the Russian Revolution. What did both of those end with? Old European kings getting killed. It's a theory.
straight to communism by overthrowing the Tsar and shooting anyone who disagreed. The end result was a civil war that killed millions, famines, and a Soviet Union that was less of a workers' paradise and more of an Orwellian nightmare.
Wait, what would you think? What would you think would happen with the Soviet Union if the rest of the planet wasn't like completely against their existence and like cooperate with them as a country would, which they kind of wanted, and B, there wasn't a Stalin, right? Like if you read what Lenin wrote, one thing he said was, when I'm dead or if I'm gone and you need a new guy to be in charge, don't have it be that guy. And he pointed at fucking Stalin. Not to say Lenin himself was a saint or anything, right? There's problems with the entire history of the USSR, right? It's not the most desirable form of government, the USSR. But like, I think Stalin being in charge made it a bit worse.
Oh, and communism didn't exactly sweep the globe like they hoped.
There was so much effort to prevent it from happening, you have no fucking clue. There were 2 Red Scares. The first one happened after the October Revolution. Or the Russian Revolution, not the October one. Well, like that civil war he talked about, one between the Russian Reds and the Whites. The Whites had like international support. That was like the Ukraine war, but like on steroids, right? Like they were foreign soldiers fighting against the Bolsheviks. You can maybe imagine why the USSR wasn't the most friendly country afterwards, right? Because they had seen the rest of the planet say, we don't want you guys to exist. I don't know.
Instead, they got Stalin, who made Lenin look like a choir boy, and rightfully discredited commies. Nice work, comrades. Then again, fast forward to the 1970s with the Weather Underground, these left-wing hippies thought bombing government buildings would spark a revolution against the man.
Okay, at the very least, if a guy bombs a building, he's not like a lame hippie, he's like a violent criminal. Can you at least give him that much respect, right? Also, what the fuck is this? What is this gun model he has? Why
Their
is
plan
it
was
spinning?
to accelerate the collapse of capitalism by blowing stuff up and writing manifestos that nobody read. Outcome, they killed a bunch of people, scared the shit out of everyone else, and made the left look like a bunch of unhinged lunatics. The FBI cracked down, Nixon got reelected in a landslide, and the only thing they accelerated were their sentencings. And if you've noticed, America still hasn't undergone a communist revolution. Bravo, boys, you really achieved a whole lot with that one. Then on the right, you've got plenty of accelerationists too, of course. Generally, these guys take the forms of morons who shoot up a Walmart or a school or something to bring about a race war, and instead just end up shooting mostly white people or getting more anti-gun legislation passed. The government cracks down more and more on their own movement, and they're delegitimized in the eyes of the public, because school shooters generally aren't very sympathetic figures, believe it or not. Now,
that was a great stock sound effect, but this video is over. See, I thought I'd be getting what if alt history, right? Because like, let me show you. This guy's video, and you can see his thumbnails here, they're pretty nice. Like, that's what if alt history. Where is he? I want to see content about my favorite fucking unhinged boy. Okay? Damn these people. Alright. Anyways, our next video is from a more enlightened centrist, or maybe not enlightened, from a more successful political centrist, who's more of a populist, you might agree, and is also a woman. Alright, this is titled, Is This the Average Male Fantasy?
Men. What do they want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy?
Okay, before she shows us, I'll give out what I think the ultimate generic male fantasy is, okay? You're holding a gun to the head of a gang rival, right? He had just previously killed 2 of your family members in a gang dispute. It's 2 a.m. You're at the docks. He's right there. He's handcuffed. And you have bricks and chains, and you can get rid of the body easily. And you're holding the gun, and you're just sitting there thinking, what would be the witty line I say before shooting him in the head. That is the ideal male fantasy, okay? Not because I watched The Sopranos recently, but still, I think that'd be pretty cool to be in, okay? Anyway, show us shoe on head. Show us.
Is it fame? Fortune? 3 hot chicks at once? Hell yeah, brother. No, according to men on the internet, it's something a little more simple. This is literally just a fetish.
Yep, it's Twitter shit. Welcome. It's Twitter stuff. All right. So, this was a Twitter post. She's not going to show it. I don't think. Maybe she'll show it. Who cares? And it was like some stupid meme account. The ones that just post things to get views and clicks and such. And it was like it was like women are sexist and disgusting, and it did like the stereotypical male fantasy, and it was like an anime film I have not seen about a guy caring for a girl who's disabled, right? And like, let's just see the comments here.
I fucking hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things.
Also, I will say, these are some great screen caps here because they don't show the engagement rate. This is, how many likes did this get compared to views, huh? Maybe that's not a good ratio.
This is literally just a fetish. I fucking hate men so much. Men are why we can't have nice things.
It's a great stock sound effect.
As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw this post.
Yeah,
A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who is assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually they fall in love. Many men were yearn posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this. While
How do I say this properly? It's fine. It's not bad behavior, okay? I don't hate you for doing this. It's kind of weird. Like, you have to wait. There was like I assume, at best, I can assume you liked the clip because it was, like, cute and it was a couple in an anime. At worst, it could be like, I would love a helpless paraplegic woman who can't walk or do anything on her own that I could flaunt around like a pet. To act like the latter isn't real is being a bit unrealistic because there are plenty of relationships like that. There are plenty of cases like that. People are freaks and creeps, okay? Now, I guess the issue is the idea that, like, actually all men are little guys who are completely helpless and just wanna yearn about having an epic anime wife. I think it's not bad, it's not gross or sexist. I think personally, it's really lame. It's really lame. Okay, that's your fantasy, having a wife who can't walk. Lame. Where's the abuse? Where's the toxicity? Where's the lying and the manipulation? Where's the drama? Okay, what the hell is the point? Where's the guy about to be executed at 2 a.m. next to the docks with your gun? Where's that? Shu is very politically inconsistent. She's a populist, but she's not a populist. You know what's really fucking funny is that during all this Iran shit, she was awoken on Twitter to post a lot more because she usually doesn't. And her posts were like Israel's bad, AIPAC money, and you know what? Sure, cool, correct. But then she's like responding to JD Vance giving like vague responses to the press about attacking Iran, right? And she's like, yes, Oomphy, yes, be vague, be anti-bombing Iran. And then they bombed Iran, and then she didn't say shit. She's a populist when it's very convenient. She was one of the people who, like, after Trump won, She was like, okay, guys, so you were super pro family, right? Are you going to pay for childcare? Are you going to pay for things? And it's like, no, idiot. They don't want a welfare state. Are you stupid? They don't actually want to support the creation of families. They want to support the currently existing rich families that vote for them.
While many others, mostly women, were absolutely f***ing disgusted at this.
Oh, man. Oh, guys, a thing happened on Twitter. It's just like the real world.
Why would a bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and predatory, right? Also just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this video, we are going to be talking about why...
Question. What's with this aspect ratio here? Why would you have it like that if you then zoom in and then it's back out? Is your camera only in like 4:3? Do you not have, like, aren't all cameras usually in 16:9? My camera is in 16:9, so is my fucking phone camera, which is probably the same quality as this anyways. Again, video making stuff. It's weird.
So many men resonated to that clip and this movie.
You mean so many guys on Twitter who, like, saw that, scroll past it, and then, like, gooned for 6 hours straight? You can't extrapolate this from that.
And why so many people...
Anyways, how is she gonna make this last for 29 minutes, folks? Let's find out.
...are so confused as to why. We are also going to be reading some absolutely unhinged tweets, as usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never-ending gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women? Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me.
Nope, no advertisements here, woman. If you're different hair, we're skipping that shit. Look at the most viewed moments. That's great face. Look at that. Look at how, like, this is like the least viewed part of the video, and then it bumps up when they get to the part after the ad. That's really cool.
Was the upskirt shot necessary in order to advance the plot? I watched Pokemon and Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched Beastars on Netflix. Legoshi, best boy. Not a furry, by the way. And honestly...
guys, I'm not a furry. Guys, hear me out. Yo, guys, hear me out for a second.
That's about it for my anime consumption. Unless you're counting VTubers.
Am I a YouTube veteran? I probably watched way too much of it the last several years of my life. I know a lot of, like, older YouTubers. I don't know about the young shit, and I don't know about the popular shit, dude. You show me the front page of YouTube with no algorithmic data, right? No way for YouTube to know who or what the fuck I am and what to show me. It will be a nightmare realm. I've considered looking at what the fuck that is and seeing how many clicks it takes to find some fucking crazy shit. Probably not hard. Like I imagine the average person who uses YouTube watches it to watch, like, Darman videos, or that whatever podcast, or like Mr. Beast. Seen Your Breast? I have also not seen Beastars, but I've seen plenty of other anime, and I will say Shu is a tourist.
If you're counting VTubers, I watch a lot of anime. But because of this clip going viral, I
like that. That's a thing that actually exists. A lot of people on the right do kind of do this thing where, like, they watch two anime. They watch K-On! Or they watch Girls und Panzer, nothing else, and then they watch a lot of VTubers. My view on Prussia, it's kind of a cool country. I liked them during the Napoleonic Wars. They came in clutch. Everyone assumes the British beat Napoleon, but it was actually a lot of Prussians did too. They had some nice... You know what? Prussia is a very fun faction to play in Total War Empire and Total War Napoleon. They're pretty fun. They have a lot of good light cavalry and infantry.
I watched Josie the Tiger and the Fish, and, well, I thought it was a good movie. I recommend watching it. I thought it was a really cute, good story. I only cried a little bit. And I completely understood what
I like this cadence she has. I like this cadence where like she says a thing, then she zooms in the camera, no music, and says a little bit. Zooms into the camera and says maybe. Zooms in the camera and says, he's right behind me, isn't he? Very cool. Makes it very easy to watch this video.
what the tweet meant.
Nah, Silver Trim Hell, yeah, I'll be watching new shit, right? If you're watching the same thing over and over again, you're just using it for background noise. You need better background noise.
By calling it the average male fan.
Who in the same fuck is Prussia Gloria? Let me look that up in a different tab off the stream. Oh, it's a song? Okay, never mind. View on neo-Confederates? Those exist? Kinda lame, I assume.
Fantasy. So, what was wrong with it? Why did this clip go so viral?
First off, that, like, hang on. Another thing I'm looking up right now, because I know that account probably also posts stuff I can't post on YouTube. One moment. Yeah, this guy, like, his posts do numbers. Like, just like 3 days ago, he has a post I can't show on the screen that is like 153k likes. Like I assume because they have a blue check mark, they're a booster. They boost their posts, and no.
In such a negative way. Why were thousands of people angry at this post?
Actually, better yet, that post didn't even have more likes than the one I just saw right now. Stupid. I've seen crazier shit than this. This is probably just Shoe-on-Head finding an average Twitter engagement post and going, well, this can make a video. This can make this month's rent.
Well, let us dilly-dally no longer and read some of these angry replies to get a better understanding of what the issue is, shall we? Wholesome male fantasy, and it's fetishizing a disabled girl for him to control.
No stats.
Oh no. They think, oh god, why? Always vulnerable.
Oh no, oh god, what? Explain. Okay, this one, she did leave the blue check mark out. Okay, that's good.
Always happy, always needs you. Pretty perverted. Where are these fan fictions coming from? There were like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute...
No, making YouTube money is whatever. It's whatever. Yeah, this is like normal Twitter. Like, what, this is not crazy.
Montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy together.
I mean, to be fair, this is not, this is one thing. This is one thing about, like, especially when it comes to anime, is that, like, guys will find, like, an anime that has, like, this in it, and they'll be like, why do you guys hate people who love paraplegic people? Like, why are you guys being so sexist about this? And it's like, this isn't real. This is fiction, right? If this was footage of a guy and an actual paraplegic woman, like falling in, like enjoying like their time together and loving each other, and I don't think you'd see the same reaction. And I'm sure as hell Shoe-on-Head wouldn't be posting about it, right? Because it's like it's real, but the movie is fiction. The movie is a portrayal of something, right? Intended to do something with it, right? It's not capturing the real world, it's making one. And when you make things, people can very easily criticize it in every angle because they know that you intended for stuff to happen in your fucking movie, right? The same people who like get mad at people criticizing like the implied power relationship or dynamic of that fucking dumb movie, which again I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna say it has X or Y power dynamic, right? But the power dynamic showcased in just the idea of portraying a man and a paraplegic woman dating or whatever the fuck. Those people are the same ones who get very upset when like people bring up the age of a Kill la Kill character or of Hatsune Miku, right? Which again is also rather stupid. But when they do that, it's very inconsistent, right? Is it all fiction or is it not? I don't know.
Together. I know, unheard of. Why do they see that and then immediately come to these conclusions? Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy, and she's absolutely not portrayed as some, like,
okay, cool. In the movie, this is the clip on Twitter. This is what everyone watched. I don't like this crap where, like, you show a clip and people get crazy over it, and it's like, unless those people are saying this movie is exactly like this, then you can say, well, I watched it. That's not true. They are reacting just to what's in the clip's contents. If they watched it, then they based it off of that, and you can't get mad at them for not watching the fucking movie, right? Because the clip itself was only happy, cute moments, right? As far as they don't know if the character actually suffers and, like, gets supported properly.
Vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu. She's boisterous.
God, you're so stupid, Shoenhead. That is almost what's being shown in that clip, frankly, right? And it's all anyone saw.
She kind of has a foul mouth. She's very sassy and headstrong. She, like, straight up calls him her servant. But she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house. She was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But they actually show her disability, like, not in a good way. Like, they don't romanticize it, they don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies, unlike a lot of romance movies, at least like the Hallmark kind, where it's like the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky, cute female lead, he's already got his shit together. And she learns to live life from him. He encourages her to live her dreams. And in return, he learns to live life in a completely different way. And I thought that was really cool and sweet. Also, the animation was really good. Is anime good? Have I been sleeping on anime this entire time? His fantasy is that she becomes permanent.
You know, we get in the future Shoenhead videos about how Friren's journey is epic and based for being anti-demon. We're getting Shoenhead videos about how Girls in Panzer is actually the most masculine show on the planet. We're getting Shoenhead videos about how Evangelion is only cool if you consider it for, like, the pornography potential, but not for the actual story. We're getting that shit, dog. Don't worry.
Permanently disabled and helplessly dependent on him, but can still make him a sandwich. Sounds about right. Oh my god. After watching the movie, these tweets.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, we're skipping this part. I'm not watching her respond to tweets and be like, these people didn't watch the fucking movie. It's like, calm down. No, they don't. You're not talking about the fucking movie. Wait, what's this? Okay, this is just some fucking shit.
So I showed this to my bro. This as fantasy.
This, you know what this is? Hang on. This is a bit lazy. It's just, this has so far just been her finding screen caps, reading them very slowly and dictatedly, and getting, like, big ones, like fucking, like this whole fucking paragraph here, to fill time and get that sweet ad revenue. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I would ask, is any point being made here besides the severity? You can explain. You could explain in just raw numbers and a couple examples with a lot of likes that there is this sentimentality, but you haven't shown a single fucking like on any of these posts that you screen capped. Bit weird. You know what this is? I don't know if any of you use Twitter. I don't blame you if you don't, but, like, there will be posts like about the, there will be like a post and then you go to the replies and every reply is just someone saying, like, that's crazy how everyone's so racist about this post. And, like, you have to go, like, 100 replies deep just to find the actual cases of racism that people are talking about. Or vice versa, right? Like, people will be like, there's all these leftist soy boys hating this post, right? Like, and this is probably one of those examples where you find this post on Twitter right now, every reply you'll see for, like, 30 minutes of scrolling will just be some people saying, like, I can't believe these annoying women are complaining about an anime, right? I don't think it's the case. That's why she's not showing us any engagement data.
Make my days happier. Are you okay? The majority of men are not abusers.
Oh my god.
That is a very...
It still goes on. Lady, please get over it. Is this the whole thing?
Actually, that study was debunked by the authors themselves. Actual love and not a girl.
What? This is so fucking lazy. This is the whole video. This is it. It's just her camera. It's just her talking on camera, which granted is a skill, making joke responses to it, and then like showing a screen cap and a little montage at the start. Where's your point? What are you trying to fucking say except people on Twitter be wild, dog?
There is this paraplegic girl who wants to see the ocean. This is the Princess and the Dragon story.
Oh
and despite
gosh,
because he gets something in return.
How fucking boring. I thought I had just seen like the start of it and tried to like skip through a bit. I thought she might have like had like an actual like idea or point or fucking anything to say. But no, this is literally no better than fucking Asmongold on live stream just going, wow, crazy, while he plays like, I don't know, fucking live leak footage of someone getting their head caved in with a shovel. Okay. All right. Nope, we already had that guy. Okay. We have one more. Folks, and I'm calling it quits. It's been 3 fucking hours. Christ, I mean, there was that blip in the middle. This video was great. It's titled, Gen Z Isn't Lazy. We're literally the only generation with balls, by the philosophical gamer.
Calling this generation soft or weak because they're actually quitting toxic jobs was always hilarious to me. How exactly is staying and licking your boss's boots every day for the rest of your life a show of courage? Exactly.
All right. Yep. This has 198k views, by the way.
Self-respect and dignity are incredibly strong human emotions. Perhaps even these...
See, this fucking guy gets it. He knows how to make a video that you stare at for maybe at least more than 1 minute, right? He's not like Seanhead, who's lazy. He has the text, which changes color when he says the words. And he has gameplay footage you can actually physically see.
Strongest human emotions. Oftentimes, people would rather die than be humiliated and have their dignity stripped from them.
Okay.
But it's really interesting that we make an exception for all of this without second thought when it comes to anything work-related. If your partner verbally abused you the way your boss does, society would instantly tell you to get out of that toxic relationship. When people can't afford to pay rent or groceries, we say tough luck, it's your own fault. But when companies can't afford to pay minimum wage, which is a necessary business expense that they signed up for, suddenly everybody rushes to justify it.
AI. Hang on. He has a better video. I mistakenly had this one in. Check out his channel. Check out his fucking channel, dude. Look at all these fucking videos. Hang on. First off, he has the redefining success epic win background with the AI anime character doing the studying vibes to study to. He has like this cool epic anime, not anime, it's like an Asian guy with goggles in cyberpunk world, right? But then like there's one video I saw that was fucking awesome. Okay, where is it? There's no reason to work. Save our mental health by refusing to work. The rebellion is igniting the rest of the world. Change finally. No more ass kicking. How to ghost stupid society. There was one video he had where he actually like explained his like plan of how you can escape the system. Okay? I'm trying to find it. Fuck me. Which one was it? Nope, it's not that one. Nope. Literally all his videos are this. It's all this. It's just Gen Z is epic pilled and you guys are lame. Where the fuck was it? Did I sort by most popular? Quit working forever. Oh, Christ, what? Oh, I'm going insane. Why is he a Roman? Why is he a Roman soldier, Wojak? Unemployment tier list? Why is this a tier list? What the fuck? Come on. Damn it. I should have. Well, maybe it's this one, huh?
We can't win this BS rigged game.
Aw, damn it. He's stealing from me. He's playing the mid Assassin's Creed game. Anyways, go.
Of modern society and the horrible economy. We
Okay.
can only try our best to ghost it. Even if you apply to 100 jobs, no one replies. Even if you apply to 1,000 jobs, no one replies. Even if you get lucky and do get hired, the pay is absolute garbage. Even if you work longer and harder, your living expenses rise way faster than the puny extra few bucks you make per hour.
Okay, so he's doing a tried and true action of finding problems and saying them out loud very angrily, right? And you know what? It's not a bad tactic because he's correct. Hiring practices are real bad right now because the economy's not going to do too well soon, I assume, or at least doesn't look like it's going to be doing well. So companies are really nervous about hiring too much, so they're not going to hire that many fucking people, or they're not going to hire people who aren't like a guaranteed good employee, right? And wages haven't kept up with the cost of living. You will find people claiming that, and they're wrong because wages may have kept up with inflation, but the areas of inflation are way different. Not everyone's buying the same shit, but everyone's renting apartments and trying to get like a vehicle to go do their job, and those costs have gotten pretty fucking crazy as of late. So yeah, there are problems, the philosophical gamer. How do we solve them?
Even if you really dedicate yourself to your job, your company can just fire you at any moment. Even if you go back to school to study, you'll just accumulate a ton of student loan debt and not be able to find a job anyways. We've all been through this experience, and it's pretty clear at this point that the game is rigged and there's no winning it, no matter what you do. But this does leave a burning question left to be answered.
Okay.
What the hell are you supposed to do about it? You can only live at home for so long before your asshole boomer parents start pressuring you to get a pointless job again. Not to mention,
I don't get that line. There are some people who are like, okay, wagey, I can enjoy living off my parents forever. And I do chores sometimes, but like you're not meaningfully changing the situation when you stay at your parents for the rest of your life. Because like your parents are working. They have jobs. I don't think they enjoy the fact that you're going to be living at your house not working when they are, right? Maybe if you come from like a Latino family, you might have that situation be a bit more, you might be able to enjoy that a bit more, but like at some point, nah.
You'll get sick of just sitting around doing nothing all day. Well, since you can't win this stupid rigged game society wants you to play, the only thing left to do is to escape it. Welcome to the art of ghosting society.
Yo, ghosting society. Hold up.
For those
Some of you could take this advice, by the way.
Of you curious, the game I'm playing in the background of
no one cares about your fucking advertisement. Jump ahead. Thank you. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
A bit painfully realistic here. Bear with me, guys. You'll thank me later.
Okay.
As a millennial, one thing that totally
Wait. This guy isn't Gen Z. Huh. Why does he make a million videos about Gen Z if he's not Gen Z? It's because there's a lot of Gen Z people watching YouTube and he can make money that way. Yeah, jobs aren't paying well. That's a fucking fact.
really destroyed my generation was the fact that we were sold a bunch of lies and we coped ourselves into believing them. It's not entirely our fault, as no one knew just how bad things would get back then, but that's neither here nor there. What's important for you is to have realistic and achievable goals and expectations so that you don't have to waste your life chasing an American dream that will never exist again.
All right.
So let's start by burning all of our unrealistic copium. If you're watching this video, chances are you and I will never be rich. We'll probably never own a house, be able to afford nice luxuries or vacations that our parents' generations could, no matter how hard we try, how much we study, how much we self-improve or level up. Barring some economic miracle, this version of the American dream will likely never happen for us. This sounds depressing, and it certainly is, but there's a silver lining to it. Once you understand and accept that there are certain things out of your reach, no matter what you do, you can stop.
Once you give up, then you can win. Business success tips number 1: if you give up, you win.
Wasting your time on them, and you can then turn your attention and dedicate all your focus towards realistic goals you can actually achieve. So let me tell you what is a realistic standard of success for our generation. We will never get the opportunities our parents had to be successful within society, but we can certainly ghost this society, escape it, and live life on our own.
You can escape society. Every single person between the ages of 30 and 20, you can just flee.
Simple but meaningful terms. You probably won't get rich, but you still can escape wage slavery, set yourself up so you don't have to work, and escape the 9-to-5 grind forever. It won't be the glamorous, luxurious retirements our parents had with fancy cars and big houses. It'll be more.
What fucking? Hang on. Another thing. What? How many of you have parents who have fancy cars and big houses? Even like the people who like manage to buy a house, they still like drive like average ass looking fucking cars. This guy's stereotyping a bit much. I don't know. I think maybe the philosophical gamer is a bit hyperbolic, everyone. I don't know.
More of a simple and peaceful but fulfilling minimalistic life. You can still live comfortably, have a great social life and community, have plenty of time to cook delicious, healthy meals, exercise, live a healthy lifestyle without the stress of a 9-to-5 constantly destroying you. You can still find time. In fact, you'll have more time and freedom to find fulfilling hobbies and passions that give you a purpose in life and something to wake up for every day. Hey guys, I've been listening to your feedback, and I've noticed that you want more solutions-oriented videos
$1,000 per month.
Talking about what we can actually do to actually solve these problems rather than just pointing.
That means this guy's entire channel is just pointing out problems and no solutions. God damn it.
Out the problems. So I hope this video helps. And if you're new here and enjoying this content, definitely consider subscribing to this crappy society. Step 2, embrace minimalism. So, in order to begin your journey of ghosting society and living life on your own terms, you need to save up money. But how do you do that, especially with these insane levels of inflation? How to save money can easily be answered in one sentence. Earn more money than you spend and put it into a savings account.
That's fantastic. Dude, no fucking, hang on. Yo, no way. Yo, hang on, guys. There's a cool trick, okay? There's a cool trick to not being broke. If you just don't spend all of your money, you will have money later that you can then spend when you need to. I know it's insane. This is like the weight losing advice of just saying, eat less calories than you consume. I'm sorry, fuck, I messed it up. Spend more calories than you consume, and you'll lose weight. Spend less money than you earned, and you'll have money. Good fucking job, buddy. All that fucking 5 minutes of hype for that.
Sounds simple enough, right? So why is it so hard?
This is what children learn in school
to actually
on TV shows
do. I believe the reason is because our consumerist society has brainwashed us so hard to fixate and hyper-focus on the earning side of the equation that we totally neglect the other and much more important other half of the equation, which is the savings part of it. Now, before we talk about how to save, let's first go over why it's mathematically and statistically impossible to out-earn this modern economy. The main issue with trying to just...
Why the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait, you just said, in order to learn how to save money, let's go over how you can't actually save money. Like, what are you talking about?
Earn more money is that having a job itself is not free. In most cases, the more a job pays you, the higher your job-related expenses rise. For example, once you get a job, you need a car to drive to work, and the cost of owning a car is often way more expensive than how much a job will pay you itself. You can
maybe for that year, I will agree. No, not even that year, actually. No. I mean, again, this is before like income taxes, but if you make like 30K a year, you could get like a cheapo car like for like 10K. That's not crazy. It's not gonna be like the longest lasting thing, or it's not gonna be anything new and flashy. But you can get like a car made after 2010 for 10K. Maybe not. Don't get a Kia, but like, you know. I mean, again, maintenance costs can be crazy. You can also just ignore maintenance costs, you know? Get like a Honda Civic. You never have to get it maintained ever again. You know, just the fucking wrench light is on. The check engine light is flashing. There's an alarm going off every 6 seconds. That shit will still run. All right.
Also try to go to college and acquire a skill, as they say, but then you have to go deep into student loan debt just to do that. On top of all that, inflation is still running rampant. And even if you are one of the lucky few who gets a 6-figure job, the price of
No, hang on. You don't need a 6-figure job. Listen, I will be the last person to say that like the fucking modern day like working economy in the United States is good. No, it's dog shit. But you can live pretty well without 6 figures, right? Like, I think what the decent number right now for a decent living in the United States is like 50 to 60K, which for a single person is still pretty hard to get. Especially a single person without like a degree and without like fucking a million years of experience in the field and connections, right? You don't need 100K to be happy. That's stupid. 100K is nice and is certainly money to finance like having a house. But like you can live very decently and still save money with like 50K. Maybe not in like New York or Los Angeles, but in like other cities, like you can do well with that in Chicago, I assume. Yeah.
Everything has doubled the last few years, meaning your 100K job is now effectively a 50K job.
This is my lived experience, but that's not true. Like 50K job still isn't too bad.
We're now seeing stories.
First off, $50K in like a global sense is a lot of money per year, and is more than what most human beings alive right now make in a year for fucking sure. You might have to live like not in LA or New York, but there's still plenty of places to live with that money.
Stories of people making 6 figures per year, still struggling.
I do sometimes disagree with this like line. Like Americans do live paycheck to paycheck, but it's also maybe not the people making this fucking much. I mean, like, is this like a couple? Is this like parents? Like 100K a year probably doesn't go so far when you have like children, but like as a single person, you're not living paycheck to paycheck if you make 100K a goddamn year. Hell no.
So it's clear that you can't out-earn the insane cost of living in modern society. So it's better to instead turn our attention to the other half of the equation, which is simply reducing our burn rate, aka our spending, as much as possible. Once you detach yourself from societal expectations of money and success, which, let's be honest, are pretty unattainable at this point anyways, no matter how much you work, you'll quickly realize that your living expenses as a young guy can be drastically reduced. A lot of you have asked me, how do I personally manage to survive without a job? Now, contrary...
Wait, this is different. Okay, you just discussed how you could like save money when you earn money as far as having a job. Why are you changing the fucking subject?
To what some people might think, No, I'm not some YouTube millionaire with my 11,000 subscribers. I'm making just around $500 to $700 per month, depending on how well my videos do. But this is enough to cover most of my living expenses because I moved to a chill European village where rent is very affordable, food is cheap and healthy, and the city is very walkable, so I don't need to deal with the
Yeah, just live in the middle of Poland, and that $500 a month is great. You're making this video for dudes who live in like fucking North Carolina or Texas. What is this?
insane expenses of owning a car. So all you need to do is to find some sort of online side hustle that will allow you to make around that much yourself. Online side hustles have gotten a bad rap in recent years because self-improvement gurus have hijacked the term to sell you their courses and promise you'll be a millionaire in no time. This obviously sounds too good to be true, and it is. However, getting to a point where you can make $500 to $1,000 per month is very doable and achievable. I went ahead and researched for you the 3 most realistic and easiest online side hustles to get started in at the
guys, free money ahead. Watch out.
Time of making this video. These 3 are: number 1, selling your photos or videos to stock media footage websites such as Shutterstock or Pexels. You pretty much only need a phone with a decent camera to do this. Number
What the fuck? I mean, I don't know how that functions. They just take any photo? Like, what photos are you taking, guy? Like, what is this? Yeah.
Number 2, selling your voice as a voiceover artist. If you can speak
Sell everything you do online. How much of this do you need to do to make like hundreds of dollars, right? What is this? I shouldn't do this. Like, oh, let me voice like car insurance commercials real fast. Like, what is this? Come on.
Clearly and have a decent microphone, you can record voices for audiobooks and animated characters.
Oh, audiobooks. Ugh, what a great industry.
At voices.com. Number 3, video editing. A lot of you want to get in the YouTube or social media game, as that's one of the few opportunities left for our generation. The best way to learn this is to simply start editing your own videos and building a portfolio. You can use this to either start your own channel or advertising your services to established YouTubers. These are all easy, legit online side hustles you can start today.
Okay, well, I mean, don't all 3 of this require like a computer? Do you have a computer? Maybe the photo thing doesn't require a computer, but the voiceover stuff does require a computer, and so does the video stuff for fucking sure. Like what? Like what?
Day without having to invest tons of time and money into getting a degree.
Wait, hang on. Okay, a degree, never mind. I was gonna say, you can do this easily without investing tons of time. Like, no. Video editing, hell no.
Or building 10 years of experience. Again, I'm always going to be realistic here. Will you become a dropshipping millionaire or make enough to raise a family off this? Probably not. But you can live a simple, comfortable...
Can you sustain your bodily functions off of pouring yourself out online for 12 hours a day? Yes.
And leisurely life with amazing work-life balance and never have to be chained to a soulless 9-to-5 cubicle job ever again. Step 3, ghosting society. Okay, so now that you've built a location-independent source of income and ideally found a similar-minded friend for the journey, it's time to...
Step 2, find a partner. Get some other dude to do this with you. Get some other guy to go move to South Asia with you, buddy.
Execute your game plan of ghosting this modern society and rigged economy for good. I am not going to waste any of your time with BS motivational speeches or feel-good advice. Just pure, actionable steps from the perspective of what I would do if I were a young guy starting over today. So, to kick things off, if you really want to escape this soulless 9-to-5 system, you're likely going to have to move abroad. I know this isn't what some people want to hear.
Yeah, no
I know
shit.
It sucks leaving your friends and family behind. But I promised I was going to give honest advice, not
Promise I would give good, honest advice. 1, move to Ethiopia.
Feel-good advice. And unfortunately, I've done the numbers, and the reality is just that even in the cheapest areas to rent in North America right now, They're not going to be affordable with simple online side hustles.
Yeah,
so
no
you're
shit.
going
They're affordable if you just get a job.
to have to move abroad where living expenses are cheaper. But
Also, no apartment will rent to you if you don't have like a proof of income from like a job, like a pay stub to show them. You need that to get an apartment too.
where exactly? Through my extensive research, the best two places to move right now, especially if you have an American passport, are
Understand. Get a passport, okay?
Albania and Georgia.
Yeah, move to Albania real fast. Yo, let me just move to Georgia. Let me move to fucking Dagestan real quick. Like, there's a million other things. You can go move to a different country and get a job there, and you'd still have like better social services. You could just get like a fucking roommate or something, or a couple roommates in a bigger place. Like, fuck, man, you don't need to fucking upend your entire life and go move to Central Asia, where it's the cheapest possible. This is fucking stupid.
These two countries are not only very cheap and affordable, with rent being as low as $300 per month in even nice beach cities, they're also much safer than the West and have decent food and weather. Also, as a special
Is this the fucking Croatian psyop to make our Albanian psyop? No, he said Croatia, right? Croatia? Go back.
Places to move right now, especially if you have an American passport, are Albania.
Yeah, it's not even Croatia. In my mind, Croatia is nicer than fucking Albania. Jesus Christ, why there? I mean, it's Europe. I assume they do understand English in Albania and Georgia, but like, come on, man. Come on.
Albania and Georgia. These two countries are not only very cheap and affordable than the West and have decent food and weather. Also, as a special bonus, if you're an American citizen with an American passport, you don't even need to deal with any visa issues. You just show up with your passport and you can stay for up to a whole year. And even when the year is up, all you have to do is leave for one day and come back, and immediately you get another year refreshed. As much as I would love,
I can imagine, maybe. That's not the case. I don't know much about living in a different country. I've only ever lived in the United States. But I don't know if the Albanian authorities like it if you move to their country, don't try becoming an actual citizen, and just keep leaving for the US once a year to get your fucking visa not a visa, but your fucking time refreshed. What?
love to. We unfortunately don't have time in this video to do a full-on guide about Albania and Georgia, but if any of you are actually serious about this, feel free to look up one of the many travel guide videos available.
That's just a travel guide video. That's not so you want to live in Albania. Where's the Albania tutorials? Where's that shit? God, fuck me. This is so stupid. Is this guy an international criminal? Is this guy actually, does he have a warrant out for him in Albania? Will he go to the wrong, like kebab stand in Albania and get arrested? And get put in Albanian prison and then get extradited to the US where he's the actual citizen? Maybe.
All over YouTube right now to get a good feel and decide whether or not this is right for you. Now, keep in mind, these are just the two countries that I personally would look into the most if I were to start over today. But they're far from the only options available to you. There are plenty of other great places as well, so do your own research and see what fits you best. Okay, so once you've completed steps 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, what's the long game? You've already fled your country. You have to spend 30 hours, not 30 hours, fucking 20 hours a day reading audiobooks that no one will listen to, and editing videos no one will watch, and taking photographs no one will buy on different websites, and you barely make enough to pay the Albanian rent. What's the long game? What's the end goal here, please?
You finally have successfully ghosted this crappy modern society we live in. And this is quite a nice life, to be honest. The amount of time and freedom you gain by setting your own hours and not having to report to a 9 to 5 gives you much more.
Yo, is this guy paying taxes in Albania when he makes these videos? That's my question. Like even your online income is taxed, right? You're self-employed. Do you do taxes? This guy does not do taxes. If he's practicing what he preached, which supposedly he does, he's in Europe somehow. I don't think he's filing, like he's paying taxes on all the income he makes. Well, he doesn't make much. Maybe he doesn't even qualify.
Time and freedom to live a healthier life, pursue your hobbies, and discover your purpose. But what about the long game here? Is this sustainable over the course of 5, 10 years and beyond? And
no.
Is it possible to ever own a house or any of the things we were promised? This is where you're going to have to hope for a bit of luck to be on your side. Now, the good news is properties are also much more affordable overseas. The real estate market of Batumi, Georgia happens to be really good.
Move to Batumi, Georgia.
Right now, which is another reason I chose Georgia earlier on. Sustaining a minimalist lifestyle overseas over the long term isn't really a problem with how cheap the cost of living is. But if you want to go above and beyond that, this is where you'll just have to go all in and take a risk. Whether that's starting a YouTube channel, making some investments and hoping they work out, going all in on your online business idea, pretty much the only ways you ever hear of Gen Z getting ahead in this day and age. There is no guarantee of success. And anyone who tells you hard work still guarantees success is either trying to trap you in the system by burying you in deep levels of student loan debt or trying to scam you.
Fuck me, man. Yeah, so gang, I know politics is very scary, okay? The left are trying to reach out and grasp young men violently and give them abundance. The right is still crying about slavery and South African white genocide, and the middle are too busy saying both sides are bad, and young men are under attack by Twitter feminists. So the only way to escape all of that is to move to Batumi, Georgia, or Albania, and spend every day of your life making internet content. And you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. Next time you hear from me, I'll have moved to that's a good kind. I'll move to Latvia or Moldova. Actually, I'll move to Moldova, where the fuck that place is called. And I won't know what anyone's saying around me. I won't. They will not speak English. It'll be a rural village, not a city. And eventually I will be killed by the local organized crime there. But, you know, at least I ghosted society. Anyways, gang, thanks for watching the stream. That's basically it. See you guys later. Bye.